Buffalo Sabres may be looking for their first win in this series, but Steve Shields has acquitted himself so very, very well since he has come on in the stead of Dominic Hasek, first of all in the Ottawa series and then again in Philadelphia. But the guy at the other end of the rink in this game tonight, boy, he hasn't been too shabby either. Look at his record in the playoffs, 6-1, as he has carried the whole load for the Philadelphia Flyers in the playoffs so far this season. And the referee tonight, Terry Gregson, Shane Heyer, Jay Shars are the linesmen. As Plant will face off against Lindros to get Game 3 underway. Covered by Dykos, who slips it off to Coffey. Being challenged, sends it off the boards, cleared ahead and fired through center, and back after it is Schmeling. Chipping it ahead. Barnaby knocks it down. Barnaby clears it up the middle, too far for May. May racing after it in the corner, lines up Dykos and runs him. But it's called on the icing and the lumber. Alrighty, we almost get something going. But for the moment, at least, cooler heads have prevailed.
Sabres Playoff Hockey is brought to you in part by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And by Dodge, the new Dodge. See your Team Dodge dealer today.
Interesting choice of lines for Buffalo. Plant, May, and Barnaby to play against Lindros, LeClaire, and Zubris. So Zubris, at least for this first shift, has taken the place of Michael Renberg on the Legion of Doom line. Renberg suffering the flu tonight.
That'll be Plant and Lindros again. As soon as the linesman is satisfied, they are lined up properly. Schmeling trying to chop it around to the boards, covered by LeClaire. Plant takes it away, deals it all the way around, but Dykos holds it in. Dykos the long shot, hit Lindros, and head up to Barnaby, around behind the defense. Barnaby shoots one. Snow makes the save. Here's May with a whack at it. Lindros got it to the blue line and out to center. And Gar Snow comes up with an enormous save, and now there's going to be a penalty called here.
Well, Barnaby ran over Snow. He just leveled Gar Snow. Snow broke his stick, and Barnaby's in the penalty box.
Well, it didn't take long for the fireworks to begin in this one.
Well, a great scoring opportunity here by Matthew Barnaby as he shoots from the top of the circle and tries to go through the 5-hole. And Barnaby just continues and bangs down Snow. So goaltender interference and an early power play for Philadelphia.
In defense of Barnaby, and very few people will find it. You'd have trouble finding a defense lawyer in any building other than Buffalo in this league. It looked like he tried to get behind the goaltender and through the goal crease.
Gar Snow at the same time was backing up, trying to get back into the crease. But that wouldn't fly, as Rick said, in too many courtrooms around the NHL.
Well, the Flyers with an early power play chance here after Buffalo had a great chance coming off the stick of Barnaby, but Snow came out to meet him and take away the scoring opportunity. Around now to Dykos. Dykos slipping it up to center ice. Brind'Amour drops it off. In over the line. Howard Chuck drilling one. Off the glass it goes. Shipnick feeds it on the boards. Doesn't get it out. Well, it's drilled over to Dykos again. He'll send it down low. Brind'Amour tapping it around. Howard Chuck now getting it to Falloon. Falloon drops it off in the corner. Here it is, right in front of the net. It comes back to Desjardins. Desjardins dropping it off on the wall. Howard Chuck keeping it in. Howard Chuck to Dykos. Got his shot away. Now elects to stuff it down low. Tapped around on the boards. Kept in there. Howard Chuck. Dykos took his shot. Deflected. Oh, and Shields just got a piece of that. Balloon taken out of the corner. Howard Chuck picking it up, leaving it there. Howard Chuck's got it again. Howard Chuck sending it back with Desjardins over to Dykos and out to center ice. Sabres can't make a change, however. The Flyers dish it right back in again. Shields to scoop it around on the boards, and it's flung not out, though. Kept in by Howard Chuck to Coffey. He'll stuff it back into the corner. Schmeling getting involved. Howard Chuck holds it in, got it back to the point. And Ninema flipping it in. That's dumped off into the corner. Brind'Amour after it again. The Sabres can't complete a change here. Sent back to the point. Dumped in front of the net again. Kicked away by Shipnick. He got it off the boards and out to center ice. And now Buffalo will change up. Coffey bringing it right back in, but this is an offside. Brindamore trapped inside the Buffalo line. That was down to 32 seconds remaining in the penalty.
That was a good play inside the line. I think it was Jason Daw who had come off the Buffalo bench, stepped in front of Brindamore, and Brindamore could not vacate the Sabre zone in time, and that caused the offside. Deep discount scratches tonight include, as we mentioned, Michael Renberg suffering from the flu. Crossbull out for the rest of the season with a broken wrist. And Shel Samuelson, Pekka, a debt. Of course, Dominic Hasek, a debt suffering, we understand, from a shoulder problem.
He got hit in game number 2 and has claimed him from the lineup. Leclerc now sliding it to an open wing. And leaving it back there to Coffey, who gracefully glides back in his own zone to Ninema. Ninema steering it to Leclerc, to Lindros, to Leclerc. They're going to call this a two-line pass on the offside, although it appeared as if the Flyers had stayed onside, but not so, says the linesman, Jay Shards.
Now the Philadelphia papers were raving about the game that Paul Coffey played in Game 2, rushing the puck from end to end on a couple of occasions. And one thing Buffalo wants to do when the Flyers are on the power play, they want to force Coffey to pass the puck. They do not want him to carry the puck. We saw that moments ago as Shatan came in to check on Coffey and forced him to make the play to the winger. So they want to keep him out of the play at every possibility.
Back in the corner, Coffey swinging it to Ninema. Ninema starting away on the rush, had to halt, leaves it to Coffey again. Hits the Buffalo line, in for Lindros, and Shields is there. He got a hold of it, and then a scramble in front of the net as Lindros went crashing to the net.
I think the puck went in the net, I believe. Flyers thought they had scored a goal, but Gregson said, no, I blew the whistle. But Eric Lindros, see, I was just talking about Coffey. Coffey got himself back in the play, led the Russian across the line. That puck was loose momentarily. Lindros poked away at it, banged away, but the whistle had gone. A face-off coming up to the right of the Buffalo net. I thought I saw something go in the back of the net. It might have been a piece of tape.
Well, while that was going on, the Sabres returned to full strength. And Barnaby, who comes out of the penalty box, will stay on the ice. Shields has a bit of a chat with referee Gregson.
Well, one thing we learned in Game 2 in Buffalo, the Flyers do play the trap, and they play it pretty well. They did it in the third period. But they are a creative team, and talking to some of the players, Buffalo players this morning, they said they're not as aggressive when they trap in the neutral zone as Ottawa was.
Swoboda holding it in. That's tapped in front of the net. They all take a rap at it. Shitnik broke it up. Now fed around behind the goal again. Out in front. Knocked down and stuffed back to the boards. Stepped in there. After it, Podine. Schmelik took it away from him. Shitnik can't get it. Came out in front. It's guided across to May. Go back it off the boards to the blue line. Plant chops it to center ice. Worked up for Swoboda. Swoboda sailing one off into the corner, and that's picked off by Zhitnik. The Flyers are changing. Zhitnik standing on his pass, has to recover. And tip it up ahead. It's picked out of the air, knocked back out again. Philadelphia trying to come back. Long pass goes all the way down the ice. Bugner is back there after it, and this will be icing coming up against Philadelphia. No score in the first on Empire.
Now, no score in this hockey game. Ted Nolan was saying this morning he felt his club was very loose but intense. That he had a team meeting with them yesterday, and they talked about finishing off their chances, bearing down. And I think he made a good point. He said, when you have a scoring chance, you don't try to put the puck over the goal line. You try to put it through the back of the net.
Now we've got Daw coming out between Ronan and Grosjean. Well, the Sabre injuries are really causing some Nolan juggling. Here's Galley letting his shot go, and Snow down on his knees to snare that one and hang on to it.
Well, Jason Daw, who doesn't take many faceoffs, won that cleanly against a veteran faceoff man in Brindamore. And Galley with a hard shot from the point. Watch Daw win this. And the only problem on a shot like that, Philadelphia, notice how well they covered up or prevented the Sabre forwards from going to the front of the net, and Snow had a good look at that.
Daw again on the draw to tip it away, and Lindros taken down by Daw. Put back in the corner, spinning around. Ward in front. Ronan couldn't connect. There's Shannon taking a shot and just missing. And around on the boards. Taken away to center. Falloon tipping it in over the line. Shannon recovers. Shannon banking it off the boards. Wilson flipped it to center. And the Flyers are in the process of making a change. Finally clear it ahead to Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck gave it away. Whipped up ahead to Ronan again. Ronan to the Philadelphia line. Sails it off into the corner. Recovered by Ninema. Now banged around on the boards. And Philadelphia starting away again with a pass at center ice. And Shannon got involved there and chipped it out to center. Picked off by Ronan starting back. A long shot. Snow snares that one, and Buffalo charges over to make a change as the Flyers come back, led by Coffey. Coffey into Buffalo territory. Coffey fakes his shot. Tried to clear it in front. Shannon took it away. Shannon off the boards, not out. Kept in by Philadelphia and stepped back into the corner. Shannon recovers. He whips it ahead. Burridge with a pass through the middle. Picked up by Chatan. Chatan in over the line. Took his shot. Snow makes the save. And Snow fires it off the glass to center ice. Shipnick back after it to Schmelik, helping it up now to Burridge. He gives it to Holzinger. Holzinger took his shot and fired it wide. Burridge keeping it in. Burridge stuffs it back into the corner. Holzinger stepping into his check. Now it's picked up and fired out to center ice. Philadelphia coming back with a long shot by Quatt that bounces into the corner. Shipnick pulls away from one. Took a hit but got it up on the boards. Not out. Kept in by Philadelphia. And play is called, and there is an interference penalty coming up now against the Flyers. So the Sabres are going to have their first power play chance of the game. 5 minutes and 20 seconds into this opening period, as it's Quatt who makes his way to the box.
Now, the Buffalo power play has not been very productive in this series, but they have moved the puck well in the Flyers zone and have gotten some scoring chances. Let's look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen as Platt interferes with Richard Schmelik and knocks him down. Clearly an interference penalty. And the Sabres send out Plant, Grosek, and Jason Daw up front. Galley and Shannon on the point. Again, the difference in Philadelphia penalty killing. The forwards are not very quick, and they do not force particularly the Buffalo point man, as, for instance, happened in the Ottawa series. And as a result, the Sabres are being able to move the puck and get some scoring chances.
Buffalo killing off the early penalty to Barnaby as Shannon turns and gets rid of Brindamore. Shannon is going to drill one in. Around behind the net, tipped around to the boards. Galley pinching in, holds it in. Now it's tapped out to center ice though. And Shannon must chase back after it. Touched by Brindamore. Earl Shannon slipping it up on the wing through center. Plant in over the line to Daw. Daw stuffs it around behind the goal. Grosek going after the puck. Grosek trying to keep it in there. Kicked it free again. Got knocked down. Tipped in by the Sabres though. And it comes to Grosek again. He tried to clear it back and it went to center ice. Galley picks it on. Here's Galley swinging it to Plant. Plant the pass up ahead. Grosek to Daw to Grosek. Grosek in over the line. Dragging the puck on the boards. Tipping it back to Galley. He swings it across ice. Tapped in by Shannon to the corner. Daw was taken off the puck. And Dykos finds the glass and sends it down the ice. Galley trying to work it out. He gets turned around. And he rolls it back behind the net to Schmelik. Schmelik ducking away from Bodine. There's Schmelik coming back through center now to Holzinger in over the line. Put it in front. Burridge just shot right on. Off the boards and off the stick and out through center ice. And Brindamore racing after it. He's checked by Schmelik. Taken out by Schmelik in the corner. Chatan could not control the puck. Burridge tries it free. Starts back for Buffalo. Burridge squeezing it to Chatan. In over the line. He leaves it there to Burridge. Trying to feed it in front. And it hit Brindamore, who turns and sends it back down the ice. Fields will whip it ahead. Philly's changing. Up to Schmelik. Schmelik in over the line. He bounces it off into the corner. Desjardins pries it free. Tapped around on the board. Schmelik pinching in again. Couldn't keep it in, but it's kicked in at the point. Tapped back into the corner again. They'll roll it to Terrian. Right front of his own net. They got away with it and sends it out to center. And the Flyers have returned to full strength. Another long shot cleared right back in again. Terrian getting it ahead. Here's LeClaire with a shot. Shields picks that away. Kept in by Lindros. Ups it into the corner to Sabres. Back to Lindros. He's turned around by Primo. Wilson trying to come up with the puck. Lindros fighting for it. Comes up with it now. Coming out in front. He's taken down. There'll be a penalty here to Primo. He's going to get it for high sticking. Or low sticking, as the case may be, because Lindros looked as if he was on his way down when he got clipped.
Now it's time for the contest special number one. Wayne Primo worked over Eric Lindros as Lindros moved the puck from behind the net to the front of the net. And ends up with a 2-minute high sticking penalty. The Flyers again on the power play.
Now it's tapped back into the corner, picked off by Woodson. He banks it off the boards. Lindros holding it in. Lindros chipping it across ice, knocked down in front, back to Lindros again. Lindros turning, trying to set it up, heels it across to Ninema. Ninema will squeeze it in. LeClaire tapping it. Kovalchuk at the side of the net. Shields trying to knock it away. Flipped it behind the net. Shannon didn't get it out. Kept in by Ninema. Back into the corner and forward, and Lindros failed to connect. Coffey with a shot. Here's Lindros, scores! Lindros spinning around and slamming it home. And on the power play, Philadelphia strikes first in Game 3.
And the Buffalo Sabres had 2 chances to clear the puck from the zone. Could not do it. Daryl Shannon with the second opportunity. It was picked off at the blue line, and it ends up in the Buffalo net. So a power play goal. Lindros with his first point of the playoffs. Watch the play develop. Now right here, Daryl Shannon, clearing pass hits John LeClaire, and this results in a turnover and a Philadelphia goal. Watch Coffey fire the puck into Lindros, and he beats goaltender Steve Shields. It's 1-0 Flyers.
And the penalty is simply costly to Buffalo. Swoboda picking it up now as Kordic was bumping with Barnaby. Ninema dealing it across to Swoboda again. Swoboda at a game center ice. He does. Ray missed him. Shields leaving it to Galley, flipping it around to the boards. It got away from May. Kept in by Kordic. May steps in front of him. There's a penalty coming up now, and it's going to go to Kordic. And Kordic has a hold of May and shoves him away, and now the stick's coming up at center ice. And Kordic does not go to the penalty box, but he's being steered off to the side. And I think Bugner is now. Bugner's getting a penalty, and both teams are being penalized. No, it's not Bugner. I'll take that back. It's Primo.
Now Primo was mixing it up at center ice, and the Sabres are claiming, how could you see that? Weren't even watching. That happened as Gregson was over assessing the penalty to Kordic. There was an altercation going on in the neutral zone, and Gregson called a penalty on Primo. So both players, 2-minute penalties. Here's the initial penalty as Kordic is called on Brad May. Now watching the neutral zone as Kordic and May mix it up. There's Gregson. Now he's not even watching the neutral zone. And Primo knocks down, I think it was Lacroix, and ends up with a penalty. You know, maybe the linesman called it, who knows. Certainly Gregson didn't see it. 11:20 to go here in the opening period. Lindros scoring for the Flyers, and the special teams have been very important here. And give a check on the positive side to Jerry Murray's hockey club as Lindros scored on the power play.
Swoboda now back in his own zone. He's being chased around. Daw left around on the boards. Flyers will send it away to center ice. Otto will drop it off. Carrying on Podine with a shot. That one finds glass. Tipped around to the boards. Ends up going to center ice. And Daw couldn't catch up with it. Now Otto recovering again. Sliding it back. Oh, he almost gave it away in front of the net, but it's broken up, and the Flyers come back with a pass to Podine. Offside is Otto.
Sean Podine scored a big goal in the opening game of the series. It was the winning goal late in the third period. And talking to Bob Bugner this morning, he was talking about toughness. He said the line of Joel Otto and Sean Podine, along with Platt, the toughest Flyer line he felt as far as pounding away at you. He said, yes, Eric Lindros, of course, is tough, but Leclerc and Renberg are not considered that type of player. But that Otto line, he felt was very physical in the Sabres zone.
Pretty good at leaning on folks.
Yes, sir. Big guys and very aggressive players, and also with some offensive talent.
Galley sliding it back for Shields. He'll give it to Gary Galley again. In his skates, he gets bumped in there. Holzinger helping out to Burridge. Burridge scoots it back into the corner. Oh, it's going to be a penalty coming up here to Lindros for taking down Galley. Lindros is now yelling at Galley to get up. He's going to get up, but Lindros is going to get off.
Well, Eric Lindros had 4 minor penalties in Buffalo, and that's too many as far as the Flyers are concerned. Yes, he is one of the most aggressive and intimidating players in the NHL, but you can't take penalties like this, not in a playoff game. And this is clearly a hook. Galley did not dive down to the ice, and the Sabres with a very important 4-on-3 situation here in Philadelphia. So there's 1:13 remaining in the coincidental penalties, and now Lindros has gone for 2 minutes.
Somehow Lindros kind of gave it. You can't do that in the house that Eric built.
No, you're not supposed to call those here.
We may not be very far wrong when we say the house that Eric built either.
You're right on.
Yeah, they certainly marketed him as a great hockey player, and he is. And he is. Here comes Galley away. Galley slings it up on the wing. Burridge will slide one off into the corner. Plant charging in there. Podine got there first. Burridge trying to come up with the puck. Bothered by Desjardins. They kick away at it on the boards. Stuffed around now, but not out. Burridge then gets knocked down from behind. Snow comes out to tee it up, and it's gunned off the glass and sent over the head of the linesman down the ice as Shane Heyer, who's one of the tallest linesmen in the league, had to duck. Holzinger coming now. Holzinger to the Philly line, lost control of it. It's picked up at the line and scooped to center ice. Burridge is turned around by Platt. And now there's a penalty to Burridge. Now this, I hope this isn't going to continue all night. And I'm not saying that Terry Gregson is not calling penalties that should be called, but if this continues on all night, we'll be here till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, we will, and we'll probably go into overtime to lose. Well, 2 minutes. Randy Burridge, who was in a bit of trouble there, as Platt would have possibly had a breakaway, and that was a penalty in my book. He certainly grabbed Platt. And now we'll see a real rarity here in the NHL. We're going to be playing 3 aside. 3 skaters aside for 24 seconds. I can't remember seeing that this season. Perhaps it happened, but I don't remember it. So Shatan, Shipnick, and Schmelik for Buffalo. Leclerc, Brindamore, and Coffey. So 2 forwards for the Flyers and 1 defenseman in Coffey, and you could consider him a forward also.
Shipnick would like to take it himself, and he does it. To the Philly line, Shipnick going wide, flipped it, and around behind the net, too far for Shatan. The Flyers trying to come back, but Shipnick came over and peppered Leclerc, who steals the puck away. Here's Leclerc now coming in with a shot. Shields makes the save. Schmelik turning around. 2 of the penalized players return. Schmelik leading the rush. He's in over the line, trying to bust through, and just failed to get a stick on it. Schmelik's got it again. Schmelik turning around, looking in front of the net, lost control of it. Flyers coming back 3-on-1. Over the line is Leclerc. Leclerc looking in front of Coffey. The shot. Shields makes an enormous save. Shields sprawling and robbing Paul Coffey. And the Flyers still lead by only 1 on Empire.
Now Philadelphia with the power play goal by Lindros. The difference in this hockey game.
Flyers in 23 seconds are going to have another power play. I shouldn't say that because I don't know how many more penalties are going to be called in 23 seconds.
Gregson is not allowing the hockey clubs to get away with anything tonight. He's been consistent. and calling all infractions.
I wonder if that's got something to do with the little scrum at center ice during the pregame skate.
Well, it began with Matthew Barnaby and Paul Coffey, as you could imagine, and they almost had a brawl break out right in front of the penalty box. That was in the pregame skate about halfway through.
Flyers keeping it in. Galley tying up Brindamore. He'll leave it for Shannon. Shannon to Barnaby. Barnaby picking his way to center. Slipping it in now to Plant. Looking for Barnaby, but he couldn't control the puck. And Brindamore squeezed out, but he leaves it there to Zubras. Zubras in with a shot, and that one will dribble through. Snow now Shields knocked it away. And then a difficulty controlling the rebound. Get back into the corner. Philly keeping it in to Zubras. Zubras sending it back to the point. Flyers are at full strength. Buffalo shorthanded. Looked around on the board. Barnaby got a hold of it and sends it down the ice. Half a minute remaining in the power play for the Flyers. Coffey up ahead now. Howard Chuck the shot. He scores. Howard Chuck gunning that one in. And the Philadelphia Flyers, again capitalizing with the man advantage, are now in front 2-0.
You're going to see one of the great passes that you'll ever see as Paul Coffey hits Dale Howard Chuck on the left wing, and Howard Chuck makes the perfect shot. But the pass is just beautiful. Watch the play develop. Here comes Coffey on the right of the screen. Perfect. And Howard Chuck, because of that great pass, gets an extra step or two and beats the goaltender. Off the post on the short side. 2-0 Flyers.
Now Gregson is not going to allow the Sabres a late change here and is instructing Bugner to go back to the bench.
Now Howard Chuck has been in on both goals tonight, and so is Paul Coffey. Coffey collects his second assist.
Here's Schmelik to come up with it for Buffalo. Up on the wing, but too far for Holzinger. It's kept in. Schmelik knocks it down. Can't get it out. Kept in by Otto with a shot. That's right on. The rebound tipped away. Miller whack at it. It's right on the goal line, and Shields trips that as Podine let it go. And Buffalo at the moment is reeling.
One of the problems that the Sabres have faced here in the opening period are the penalties. And Buffalo is a team that likes to roll four lines, one after the other. And when you're either on a power play or killing a penalty, you can't do that. And this one is very close to being 3-0. Great job in front of the net by the Flyers. Podine swats it, but can't put it by the goaltender's shield. Now what the Sabres must do is get to center ice, get the puck in the Flyers zone, and try to work on that Philadelphia defense.
Galley. No, rolling behind the net. Lindros watching him. Lindros runs Galley. The puck coming through center ice. Dropped off to Ninema. Ninema rattles it around on the boards. Bugner keeping it in. His shot knocked down in front of the net. Lindros takes it away. Lindros in the corner again. And he just fired that one right out of play. He tried to clear it around behind the net, and he sent it right over the glass.
Well, shots 11-5 here in favor of Philadelphia. Lindros scored the opening goal. He had also one of the funnier lines of the playoffs. They were referring to Matt Barnaby. Barnaby has been in everybody's face, including Eric's, and Barnaby sports those designer teeth, the one silver tooth and the other tooth with the Buffalo B on it. And in game two, Eric suggested that Matthews stop by the Flyer dressing room afterwards and they would take up a collection and give him a couple $100 to have his teeth fixed.
Well, there have been some good lines in this series.
Real good one.
The Sabres, they're taking a shot, and Snow got an arm on that. An arm that may be too big for the Sabres. At least the shoulder pad is. Got back in by Schmelik. Coffey whipping it around in the boards. This one is going to go out of play as Coffey is bumped by Barnaby. And that was another line that Garth Snow came up with when they asked him about Barnaby hitting the crossbar in the second game. And he said, well, that's all I gave him.
Well, of course, and all the controversy. Now, look at the shoulder pads on Garth Snow, and Ted Nolan made an issue of that. And, of course, the press immediately after Ted Nolan's press conference went into Garth Snow, and the shoulder pads were nowhere in sight. And Ted accused him of putting wood or plywood in the shoulder pads, and somebody asked Garth, well, where are your shoulder pads? And he said, well, they're in the woodworking shop.
It's got something to do with habeas corpus, doesn't it, or something like that? There's Primo now, and he'll take the face off against Lindros. Ray took down his check. No penalty called there, and now some extra pushing going on. At the center ice, Wilson guns it right back in. Hey, got spun around. Snow out of the net, and Ray comes across, and he just hammers Swoboda. Cleared out at center, taken back by Schmelik. Schmelik some difficulty as Leclerc was on it. That'll be flipped ahead, and Leclerc ends up in the Buffalo bench. Right over top of Schmelik and right in the Sabres bench. That's not Leclerc, that's Zubras, I beg your pardon. And he's going to get a penalty. Boy, that's really adding insult to injury.
Oh, boy. Zubras, for about 5 seconds, was a member of the Buffalo Sabres. Watch Schmelik as he clears the puck out. And there's Zubras leaves his feet to elbow Schmelik. And Brad May is on a mission as he knocks down Swoboda seconds before the Philadelphia penalty. So Buffalo with an opportunity to get on the board here in the opening period. 6:47 to go, and again we go back to the special teams fighting it out here in this building. And most of the period has been either power play or penalty kill for both teams.
Well, Terry Murray is showing his displeasure with the call as he takes his time sending out a lineup onto the ice, if he finally does, as soon as Gregson starts in his direction. Funny what that'll do to coaches. I see the guy with the red stripes heading over. Taken away by Otto. Slipping in over the line, squeezed off the play by Schmelik. Grosek leaving it back behind the net. Shipman finding Plant. He cranks one in. Snow trapping it back there. It's rifled off the boards and all the way back down the ice again. So Zhipnik is there to collect it. Watched by Podine. Doubled it over to Schmelik. Schmelik attempting to get away at center. Made to feed it through the middle. He hit a stick, and Buffalo is really unable to get anything going.
Well, that's an example, though. Get the puck in deep. Try to get the forwards moving and go in there and get the puck back. They're being stubborn again. They won't shoot it in.
Plant can't get away at his own line. To tip it back into Galley. The Flyers are doing a heck of a job at killing off the penalty. Now finally Plant pries it free and gives it to Grosek. Across ice it comes for Barnaby. Barnaby had to wait for the pass. Draws a chorus of boos as he gets in over the line to Plant. Took his shot and fired that wide. Shannon moves up on the play. Tried to get it to Grosek. Went all the way around to Plant. Plant holding it in for Barnaby. Barnaby scoops it back to the point. And jumped away from Galley and went to center. Galley now takes a bump from Poppy, and Poppy will send it off into the corner. Shannon squeezing a pass ahead, didn't get it out. Shannon gets it back. Shannon whipping it up to Daw. Daw firing one in. That's flipped around to the boards. Holzinger keeping it in. Here's Chatan charging in there. It's kept in by Buffalo to Holzinger. Holzinger rolling around, didn't shoot. To Shannon. He took a shot. Scored! Shannon ripped the shot that deflected in front of the net. And on the power play, Buffalo gets on the board. So the penalties have really been costly here in the first period.
Now that time the Sabres position in front of the net. And Gerald Shannon, now it was Jason Daw tied up with Podine in front of the goaltender. And it deflected, the puck did, off one of those players and by the goaltender Garth Snow. But a hard, high shot goes into the net, and the Sabres with a power play goal get themselves right back in this game with 5:05 to go here in the opening period.
Well, it either got Daw or Dykhouse, one of them. But it matters not to Daryl Shannon and company right now because they're on the board. And it obviously hit Dykhouse if they're crediting Shannon with it. Let's work ahead. Leclerc tipping it up. Here comes Lindros again. Lindros to the Buffalo line, leaving it there. The shot by Zubras. Up wide of the net. Then around to Ninema. Ninema keeping it in for Philly. His shot is nowhere near the goal. Around to the other side. Ronan. Going to work it out. Chucks at it again. Doesn't get it out. Coffey's long shot. That goes wide. Here's Ward scooting it along the boards, but not out. Lindros keeping it in. He'll shovel it in. It's taken away by Bugner. Lindros got it out in front again. Poppy holding it in there. He cleared it in front. Deflected wide by Lindros. Ward flipped it ahead, didn't get it out. Lindros still keeping it in. Lindros trying to go down low, goes behind the net. Still lugging the puck. He got it back to Ninema with a shot. That deflects. Knocked down in front and tipped wide by Zubras. Another shot shields the save. Lindros hammered by Bugner. Around it goes to the corner. Ward on top of the puck. Bugner and Lindros are battling away. And the Sabres recover, and finally Ronan works it out to center ice, getting it up to Primo. In his skates, he couldn't get anywhere. Philadelphia coming right back again. LeClaire, he got checked. Claire after it again, taking off the puck. Primo starts away. Primo fires it in. Ray races in after it. Ray taking out Terrien. Sent around on the boards. Wilson keeping it in there. Giving it to May. Cleared it in front, and Primo couldn't connect. Back comes Philadelphia. Brindamore to Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck in over the line. Howard-Chuck turning, got it in front of the net. That's swept away. Knocked back into the corner again. Jammed on the boards, not out. Kept in, now it's flipped out to center ice by Desjardins. Picked off by Terrien. Terrien just slipping it back in again. The Sabres are trying to make a change. Wilson in the corner lost the puck. Kept in front of the net. The shot. Shields got an arm on that one. Tipped out in front. Shannon recovering. Shannon sliding it across to Wilson. Up the middle it comes. Plant works it to Barnaby. Barnaby sliding in over the line. Tried to feed it in. Snow kicked it to Barnaby, and he fanned on it. Sent to center ice. Buffalo's Galley recovering. Galley works it to Barnaby again. He'll sail it back for Bugner. Bugner heading center. Now he whistles one in. Left in behind the net. It's flipped around on the boards again. Bugner trying to keep it in, and does. Stuffing it in to Barnaby for Grosek. Knocked away by Snow. Barnaby is grabbed in the corner. No penalty there, and the Flyers pick it up and dribble it down the ice. Alley recovering. Philly is making a change. Worked across ice and up to Barnaby. Barnaby bumped at the blue line by Terrien. He knocked it into the Flyer zone, though, and he and Terrien are going at it. Now it's slipped ahead to Podine through the middle. Taken back by Grosek in over the line. Grosek busting around the outside. Cuts in with a shot. That goes wide. Sent back around on the boards. Podine flipping it free. The Flyers will get a chance now to clear the zone to Terrien. Terrien sliding it in for Zubras. Leading it off into the corner. Chatan got in front of his man. Didn't get it out. Lindros the shot, and Shields kicked that away. Zubras keeping it in. Tucks it back into the corner again. Swept but not out. Zubras keeping it in again. Hit the back of the net. Here's LeClaire right out in front. Zitnik can't get it. Flyers keeping it in with Swoboda. He guns it into the corner. It's tapped around behind the goal. Left there for Lindros. Lindros tried to squeeze it in front, and Burridge kicks it away. Burridge with a pass to Holzinger. Holzinger in over the Flyer line, leaving it to Chatan. Put it in front of the net, and Burridge couldn't connect. Inema scoops it ahead, and it's tapped high in the air as Philadelphia's turn to change. Shannon starting back. He works it ahead. Burridge dumping it in over the line. Poppy collects it now. Out to Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck got it up to center ice to Brindamore. Brindamore into Buffalo territory. Faked his shot around the outside. Scores! Brindamore! And Philadelphia comes right back to regain its two-goal margin with 1:03 left on the clock here in the opening period.
You're going to see a very smart play by Rod Brindamore. Buffalo got caught with Jason Daw playing left defense. Brindamore saw it, crisscrossed at the neutral zone to get him on that side of the ice right here. Now that's Jason Daw, number 17, who's not an experienced defenseman, and he is beaten, and then Brindamore beats the goaltender. Tip your hat to Rod Brindamore. What an outstanding play, and the Flyers go up 3-0. That's a mismatch. And a great shot by Brindamore, who is the leading goal scorer in the playoffs for the Flyers.
That's number 6 for him in the playoffs. Ronan trying to pry it free at center ice. It's dribbled back in over the line. Terrien recovering. Wilson hustling to the bench, replaced by Galley. Podine starts away. He backs one into the corner. Shields comes out to play it around on the board. He right in front. Shannon took it away. Not out. Terrien keeping it in. But they're ruling it a glove pass now against Philadelphia. Philadelphia back in the lead by 2 once again.
Well, Philadelphia with a 3-1 lead. Ted Nolan's Hockey Club must somehow find a way to battle back. There's the latest damage done by Brindamore as he beat Steve Shields to the stick side. A perfect shot after stepping around Jason Daw, who was back covering up on defense. And we've had a total of 23 shots here in the opening period, 15 for Philadelphia, 8 for Buffalo. And the Sabres are, one of their big problems has been they're playing their own zone. They have not been able to move the puck out across the blue line consistently.
Shannon picks it up in his skates, swings it for Galley. Galley ripping a pass to Ray, but it was too high for him, and it's dumped in the other direction. Shannon after it. Lacroix tried to catch up with him. Kept in. Howard Chuck took his shot. That's knocked down. Shannon scooped it. Didn't get it out. But Ray will pick it up now and send it high in the air to center ice. Hey. After it, knocks it in over the line. It's rolled around behind the net. Primo goes sailing in there. Worked around on the boards, and Ray comes in and levels Swoboda again. Here's Shannon holding it in. Slipping it over now to May. Took his shot, and that one deflects and goes out of play, and there is another penalty coming up now with 0.4 seconds left on the clock. And it's Swoboda who's going to go, and Peter might be getting it because he's getting a little frustrated. He's been run over 3 times in this game, twice by Rob Ray and once by Brad May.
And a number of times in games 1 and 2. So he's got to wonder if there isn't a target somewhere on his uniform, because the Sabres are certainly keying on Peter Swoboda. So Peter Swoboda, 2 minutes for tripping. We're going to see if we can find it for you. Here's Rob Ray. There's the interference or tripping call that Gregson assessed. And the Sabres won't be able to do much with this face-off with just 0.4 seconds, a stride or 2 inside the blue line.
Now, this is a mere formality. It's drop the puck, and the first period will come to a close. So drop the puck already. So they finally do. And so the Philadelphia Flyers leading by 2 goals twice in the period.
And Philadelphia really gave Buffalo problems in the Sabre end of the rink. Dale Howard-Chuck with one of the goals tonight and 2 assists, so he's had a big first 20 minutes of play, but Sabres' inability to consistently move the puck cleanly out of their zone really cost them in that opening period.
And that might have something to do with the fact they're missing Michael Pekka again tonight, and also Donald Audette is out of the lineup for Buffalo, both of them succumbing to injuries. As we get set for the first intermission on Empire.
Oversized shoulder pads, and you can see the flaps here. See these up there? Now stand still, Garth. No, he's not going to, but
he's got flaps. All he needs now is the air traffic controller. He can take off from Philadelphia International.
He bends over and the flaps go up, and of course he says he said, well, one time he said he had wood in there, and the other time, and this is Garth Snow talking, he had shingles in there. His family owns a shingle business back in Massachusetts, so he was having fun with it.
Zipnik sending it away to center now. Buffalo has the man advantage. Tipped in front. Chatan whacked at it. But Carrion recovered in time. Chatan steals it away in front. Holzinger trying to hold it in and does. Holzinger drops it off, and it goes out to center ice. Galley back after it, flipping it up ahead to Holzinger again. He left it there as he tried to drop it off, and it ends up going to center. Galley takes it away to Zipnik, and Galley just had the legs kicked out from under him, and no penalty called there. Zipnik starting back. He brings it in over the line, loses control, and it's sent right back down the ice. Galley after it again. Platt goes by. Ray Galley flips it up to Chatan. In over the line, didn't get his shot away, and it's scooped free and sent back down the ice. Flyers are changing, so are the Sabres. Just underway in the second period. Philly up by 2. Pass to Schmelik at center. Will send one in. Snow will handle it, and he will hang on to it as Grosek went sailing in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have initiated scoring for the second Flyers goal.
Let's go downstairs now and see what Dennis Williams has for us.
Thanks, guys. I talked to assistant coach Don Lever before the start of this period, and he said that the Sabres really played into the Flyers' hands in that first period, just way too wide open. So they talked about tightening things up defensively, playing more patient, playing more of the Sabres type of game, and then the chances will come. Let's send it back upstairs.
Now, to add a Another point there. I think the Sabres have to play better in their own zone. They just gave the puck away too often. Too many turnovers, and that, of course, resulted in numerous Flyer scoring chances. Buffalo on the power play here with 43 seconds remaining in the Flyer penalty.
Kicked around behind the net, and Svoboda will have time, or check that, it's Claudine, to send it down the ice. Shannon scooping it up, followed by Otto. Otto steals the puck away. Barnaby helps out and leaves it to Schmelik. Schmelik gaining center ice. Now tipping it up in over the line. Grosek stopping. Grosek hanging on to the puck, trying to set up the play. Barnaby's in front, setting up the screen, and that deflects just wide. Philadelphia right into the crowd. That one is fired up there and in a hurry by Desjardins. Down to 10 seconds remaining in the penalty.
Oh, what a great job Matthew Barnaby did in front of the net to get in position. Michael Grosek did an equally fine job of making the right shot selection, getting the puck through. Barnaby deflected it. Now watch what happens as this play begins. And Matt Barnaby gets positioned in front of the net right here. You see Barnaby as he fights off the defenseman and then just tipped the puck wide. That was a great look at a fine piece of power play work by Buffalo.
Lindros trying to kick it free. It's still in the circle, and the Flyers come up with it and off the boards and down the ice, and that will do it. Philly returning to full strength. Got back in the corner again, picked up by Zhitnik. Zhitnik wheeling it ahead to Plant. It jumped away from him. Plant after it again, gets taken out, but Zhitnik carries on. Zhitnik around Coffey. Zhitnik turning in the corner. There's Zhitnik holding it in as he turns again. Flipped it back along the boards. Dyko swings it to the other side. Schmelik pinching in and keeping it in there. Got it in now behind the net. Barnaby whacked down his check, and Barnaby is going to get a penalty here as Lindros goes down.
Well, that didn't look that bad as Lindros hit the deck. And it wasn't that bad. That was pretty darn good dive in my book. But Matt Barnaby, of course, with that reputation of his, ends up in the penalty box. That's the second time Lindros has gone down in this hockey game, but that was rather severe. Now, watch Barnaby just slash at Lindros right here. Come on. And the Flyers are on another power play with 17:32 to go here in the second period. A slashing penalty. Barnaby clearly slashed Lindros, but it certainly wasn't that severe. And Lindros remains on the ice.
Covered nicely.
Boy, he sure did, in an instant almost, as soon as he knew the penalty was called. But give him credit. He drew it on Barnaby.
They're trying to decide where the faceoff should go, and the linesman wins out, I think. He says it should be back in the corner of the ring.
Now, this is the type of situation that plagued Buffalo in the opening period. Too many penalties. Now they have to kill off an early one here in the second.
Flyers have a couple of power play goals.
One by Lindros and another one by Howardchuk.
Ward tried to go to the net. That didn't work out, and it's taken by Ninema to center ice to Howardchuk. Ward was all tangled up with Lindros behind the play, brought in by Leclerc, and he promptly gave it away to Schmelik. Round on the glass, Ninema keeping it in there. Schmelik got it back, and this time he will make sure and send it through center. Ninema floating around in his own end up to Lindros. Oh, and he got away and comes in over the line. Trying to clear it in front. Rebound right on. Coffey let the shot go. Shields lost his stick as he made the save. But Ward starts back 4-on-2. Ward in over the line offside. Buffalo. And now Lindros comes up late on the play, and he's got a penalty as he decks Ward.
Now, Buffalo, a very poor play by going offside at the blue line. And then Lindros, an equally poor play as he decks Ward in the corner and goes to the penalty box. And that's the second undisciplined penalty Lindros has taken tonight.
Well, Ward helped that one out just the same. He learned that lesson from Eric.
Now here's a great save as Paul Coffey was in alone. Richard Schmelik had a chance to hit Lindros in the neutral zone on that and passed it by. Buffalo broke down the ice, and Rick was saying, as we looked at the replay, Dixon Ward sort of helped that one along too on Eric.
So each team for the moment shorthanded. Cannon swinging it across the galley. Galley bounces it around behind the net. Shannon back there again. Flyers are aggressive now in their penalty killing. It's tipped across and Holzinger pulling away at center. Holzinger in over the line. Trying to bust around the outside. Carrion stayed with him. Holzinger left it to Daw. He got checked, however. Philadelphia starting to come back. Carrion leading the rush. Carrion bringing it in over the line, and that one is way offside. A little over 16 to go in the second. Flyers still leading by 2 on Empire. Face off outside the Buffalo blue line. Each team still a man short. Minimum. By Plant slips it up the middle. Away goes Brindamore. Brindamore into the Buffalo zone to Howard Chuck. Took his shot. Shields the save. Howard Chuck in the rebound, and he swept it wide. Left there for Schmeling. Schmeling trying to rush away now for Buffalo and does. The Philly line and over. Tucks one around behind the net. Snow came out, lost it. It's chucked around to the board. Schmeling moves in. Schmeling tried to tip it back. Got it back again. Schmeling keeping it in there. Works it down to Plant, but he wasn't expecting the pass, and Brindamore to center ice. Brindamore rubs it back to Swoboda. Swoboda tried to shovel it through. Ninema took a shot. It bounces off into the corner. Howardchuk took a hit. Shipnick takes it away. Shipnick looking for room. He busts out and gets down through the middle. Buffalo back at full strength and over the line. Shipnick tried to drop it off, and he got hammered by Brindamore. Kept into Barnaby. Out in front it comes. Here's Shipnick, a shot. Knocked down, and it's kept to center. Ninema after it. Shannon's right on him, and Shannon got hacked by Ninema. Pass up to Barnaby now. Barnaby sails one off into the corner. Desjardins got it around on the boards. Not out. Kept in there by Buffalo. Now it's held in by the Sabres again. Back to Shannon. Shannon over to Galley, and play is called, and there's a penalty here to Buffalo.
Well, it's Matthew Barnaby, I believe, is going to be called for goaltender interference. Barnaby saying, hey, I was out of the crease. But Gregson, who is calling virtually everything here tonight, assesses another penalty to Barnaby. Now, earlier in the game, it was Matt Barnaby who knocked down Gar Snow. Let's have a look at this one. Watch in front of the net. Here comes Barnaby. And again, Snow is out challenging. And Barnaby, I guess, according to Gregson, did not attempt to avoid contact with the goaltender.
But Gar Snow is not a stupid person. If he sees Barnaby coming,
Sure,
he makes sure that he's going to get in his way.
That's exactly what he did on that play. So a very clever play by the goaltender, and this could be smart. He went to the University of Maine.
Well, in 5
I'm
seconds.
not sure what that means, but we assume if you make it to university, you must be fairly intelligent.
You're an alumnus of the University of Maine, it sure does.
Sure.
There it is. Recovered by Swoboda, and he belted in the corner by Ronan, and it was all over him. But the Flyers now have the power play again. They've scored twice with the man advantage tonight. LeClaire drops it back. And it's drilled in wide of the net. Coffey charging after it in the corner. Coffey leads it around on the boards. Galley takes it away, but checked by LeClaire from behind. Galley tried to kick it to Shannon. Galley doing a good job at taking time off the clock. Squirts free. Ronan finds an opening and slips it down the ice. Sabres change up front. Ninema wheeling one through the middle. LeClaire at the line. Coffey went in too soon. Back for Lindros. Across now to Ninema. Ninema feeding it through the middle. Coffey runs it over on the wing to Zubras. Zubras will scoop it behind the net to LeClaire. Around to Lindros again. Lindros sailing it all the way back to the point to Coffey. Over to Ninema. Took his shot. Shields makes the save. Kept in now by Zubras. He lost it. It came in front. Shields took it away, and he hangs on to it.
Now, Steve Shields said he learned an awful lot by watching Dominic Hasek play goal. One of the things that he learned was to drop the goalie stick and pick the puck up with the blocker. He did it again on that play. And maybe that's a move that we can teach kids during the summer at the Jim Lorenz Hockey School. We invite you to join us in August. We offer programs for beginners, intermediate, advanced, and girls only. And for a brochure, leave your name and address. Call 874-6133. We'd love to see you in August. Well, both clubs have to make some adjustments here tonight with the goaltender, or with the referee, Terry Gregson. He's calling everything, and you've got to start taking that into consideration when you be in the penalty box.
Melick tying up his check in the corner. Flyers are still on the power play, rolled around on the boards, but kept in by Coffey. Now it squirts out over the line. Coffey slipping it to Desjardins. Back for Coffey again. Coffey sends it across ice. Worked by Howard Chuck. Off the skate. Holzinger steals it away. Holzinger in over the line. Shot off the glass it goes. Chatan coming up with it in the corner. He's trying to kill some time. Finally loses control, and it's left by Coffey to Desjardins. He'll rip one in. Round on the boards. Flyers kept it in, but Schmelik is there to scoop it out to center ice. Chatan beaten to the puck by Dykhouse. Over now to Desjardins. Desjardins drilling it in. Shields could not stop it. Stuffed around behind the goal again. Kept in by Falloon. Falloon leaves it on the wall. That's broken up, and it deflects out to center. And here's Grosek racing after it. Up to Barnaby, and he couldn't get it there. Barnaby just coming out of the penalty box. Flyers starting back again. Tipped in over the line to Falloon with a shot. Getting in front of that one was Zhitnik, and it goes out of play. 7 minutes gone here in the second.
Freshness Hotline, what's the problem?
Man, my party is lame. I think I got some skunky beer.
Sir, relax. When was your beer born?
Born? What are you talking about?
It doesn't have a born-on date?
A what?
Do you have any Budweiser?
No, man, you gotta help me.
Okay, remain calm, sir. We're on our way.
Born on dating from Budweiser. What fresh beer tastes like.
Go! Sir, put down the skunky beer.
Well, the Philadelphia Flyers enjoying this 3-1 margin over the Buffalo Sabres here in the second period, and Colorado and Edmonton locked up in a 1-1 tie. Kelly Buchberger scored for Edmonton. I don't know who got the Avalanche goal.
Now the Primo line, Primo May Ray playing against the Bangers from Philadelphia. Bruce, who's in the lineup tonight because of the absence of Renberg, Lacroix, and Portic. These are the fourth line of Philadelphia against the so-called fourth line of Buffalo.
Hacking away at the puck. Wilson slips it across. Throws it off the boards. Not out. Portic tied up along with Ray, but he sends it ahead, and Portic and Ray separate. Now whipped in. May charges in there after it. Here's Sloboda coming up with the puck, but it's going to be called, and we'll have a whistle coming up just as Brad May had a range check on Peter Sloboda again.
And this is one line, too. Ted Nolan does not have a problem playing the Primo line against the Lindros line. It's a little easier to do on Buffalo than it is here in Philadelphia. Peter Sloboda, we mentioned, has been on the receiving end of a number of thundering body checks by Buffalo Sabres in this series. Face-off to the left of Steve Shields. 12:29 to go here in the second period in a hockey game that has been a battle of special teams and being won by the Flyers. They have 2 power play goals here tonight. And when you get into a battle of special teams with Philadelphia, you can probably lose. And that's so far been the story.
Wilson. Slide behind the net, work it around to Ray. Ray leaving it to Wilson again. Lacroix going to run at him. Here's May in the corner. Challenged by Bruce. Ray hustling after the puck again. Ray ducks away from one, flips it up the middle to the blue line and out at center. Ray charging after it. Portic got there first. Now it's picked up by Zhitnik. Leaving it to Ray. Ray clearing it in, and Portic now chasing Ray around. And behind the net. Dinema feeds it ahead. That'll go to center. Shannon takes it back. Ducks away from Bruce's check. May leaving it to Wilson. Has difficulty controlling the puck. The Flyers making a change. Swept across to May. Back for Shannon. Shannon tips it to Brad May. May gaining center ice. Now to the Flyer line and over. Tried to muscle it in, but it's taken back. And away goes Lindros. Lindros in over the line, and he bumps there with Shannon. Galley recovering. Galley flings it across to May, who's been out there a long time. Oh, and a dangerous pass, but he gets it across ice. Now steered ahead. Too far for Ronan. Dykhouse coming back. Tapped it at center. Up to Lindros. Lindros slapping one in. Shields didn't get the puck. It rolls back in behind the net. Galley got knocked down, but gloved it around to Shannon. Came back to the point. Coffey keeping it in. Sends it back behind the net. Zubrus got it out in front. Leclerc didn't see it. Here's Shields. Finally stretching to the utmost to cover up and hang on to it.
Now this line, John Leclerc, of course, Lindros, so difficult to control in the zone. And Steve Shields was pretty fortunate on that play as he was down on the ice long before the puck was in range. Watch what happens. There goes Shields. And finally, he reaches with his goal stick and scoops it back in towards his glove.
Good thing he's got some tall jeans.
I'll say he would have never got there if he had been a smaller goaltender, and it might have been in the net. Sabres, though, have done a fine job against John Leclerc and against Eric Lindros, even strength.
Buffalo doesn't have a shot on goal here in the second period. We've played 9 minutes, but the Flyers only have 2. Make it 3 for Philadelphia. Make it 4. That's right on. Shields the save, and then Otto took a whack at it, and that drew a crowd.
That's Joel Otto again, who's maybe the Flyers' best face-off guy, as he won it clean and then got himself to the front of the net. And you don't like to see that happen. If you're the centerman, the opposition, in this case Brian Holzinger, and you lose the face-off, it's your job to make sure that the opposing centerman doesn't get to the front of the net. Otto not only won the draw, but then he got in front of Steve Shields to boot.
Sabres change up on defense. Sending out Bugner and Galley, and his shot by Desjardins doesn't get through. It's tucked around to the boards. It's clipped, and this one is going to make it all the way down the ice, and they're going to call it icing as Terry picks it up.
Come on. Well, I guess the linesmen don't have an airplane to catch tonight. No. Terrian made no effort at all to get back to touch that puck before it crossed the line. The Sabres are arguing, but the face-off will be to the left of Shields.
To send out Lindros again.
I think Buffalo needs to make a change here. They do not want the Holzinger, Shatan, Burridge line against the Lindros line. So Terry Murray gets a good matchup here for this faceoff.
Lindros went in the draw. Desjardins the shot. It bounced off Burridge, but he can't get it out. Then he had his stick held, and that didn't get called. Here's Leclerc tied up by Holzinger. Lindros after it. Bugner rattled him. Sabres will send it out to center, and Holzinger charging after the puck and over the line. Holzinger backhand, flipped it wide of the net. Burridge hustles in there. Burridge trying to keep it in. Shatan whipping it around to Holzinger, fights off a check. Holzinger turning again. Giving it back there. Shatan took a rough ride. Here's Holzinger fighting for the puck again. He got turned around. It's scooped ahead and sent to center ice. Recovered by Shitnik. Buffalo's changing. Shitnik off the glass, not out. Lindros keeping it in, knocked down in front of the net. Zubrus couldn't get there in time. And it's tapped to center. Off the boards again, flip right back in. And after it, Shields to gun it all the way around. At the center ice, Lindros came back and then got his stick up on Grosek, and Grosek yelling at the referee. Nothing called there, and now an offside. Charged against Buffalo. And here's Grosek going over to talk to Gregson, and Gregson said, "Get away from me."
Grosek was clipped with Eric Lindros' stick and still arguing with Gregson. Gregson says, "Get out of here, I didn't see it." And Alex Shitnik was talking to him this morning, and of course he normally plays against Eric Lindros. He says the important part is to get strictly position on him. You're not going to be able to bounce them off the puck. Shitnik has a problem near his right eye, and Michael Grosek was hit in the same area just moments ago.
And now Gregson is over in the mix again, talking to Plant.
He's sending Grosek off the ice, saying, "We're not going to let you play like that out here." Grosek, you can see the results of the high stick from Eric Lindros. There's the evidence. attention.
The Sabres need another
Nolan.
player on the ice.
Here he comes now as it's Brad May is going to play left wing.
Now we're ready for the face-off outside the Philadelphia line. Worked across. Nineveh trying to get away. Jammed on the boards and tapped all the way down the ice. Shannon is back there. Shannon scooping it to Wilson. Wilson, oh, he gave it away in the corner right to Brendamore. Brendamore holding it in front. The shot is blocked by Plant. Barnaby tried to chop it out. Got it off the boards and out to center. That'll be tipped ahead. Here's May racing after it again. And Svoboda got away from him to send it around to the boards. Well, the Flyers pick it up. They'll dump it down the ice, but Shields will handle this one. Giving it to Shannon, leaving it back there to Plant. Plant trying to duck away. Howard Chuck checked him, but Plant fought off the check. And it's worked through center ice to May. May twisting at his own line. Shannon for Wilson. Back to Daryl Shannon. Flyers are changing. The pass to May at center. May leaving it there on the line, and Plant ripped one in that hit a leg. And Ninema going behind the net. And it's tapped all the way back through the middle. Galley recovering. Galley using the boards to find Barnaby. Barnaby flipped it ahead. It's chipped in over the line. Racing after it. Ward. Here's Ward taking his shot, and that sails into the corner. Ward cut off Howard-Chuck to keep it in. Poppy gave it away to Ward, but Howard-Chuck helps out. Flipped it, didn't get it out. Bugner keeping it in. He takes his shot. Deflected. Ooh, just wide of the net. Here's Ward trying to work it in front. Howard-Chuck dribbled it to the other side, and Bugner charged in there after it. Couldn't get there in time, but Galley comes back to help him out. And works it up to Daw. Touch pass. Flipped in over the line. Here's a chance now. The shot right on Snow. The save on Roden. Back to Ward in front to Roden. And Snow covers up and hangs on to that one. And now Dawes challenged by Lacroix.
Now the Sabres putting together their best 2 minutes of the hockey, or 2 minutes of the second period, but cannot beat Garceau. Now Garceau coming up with some key stops for Philadelphia here in the second period. He's an aggressive goaltender. Look how far out he is. And then you're going to see the puck on the right of the screen comes Ed Ronan, and he cannot tip it by the left pad of Snow. So excellent goaltending, but the Sabres need some traffic in front of that guy to prevent him from coming out in front of that goal crease, and they haven't been able to do that consistently in this game.
They might get it now with Primo, May, and Ray out there. May grabbed by Therrien, but May keeping it in. Fighting off Desjardins. Ray got tied up. Here's Otto tapping it into the corner to Podine. Podine got rid of it through center, and he got tagged by Ray, and they mix it up. Sent in the other direction again. Desjardins dealing it across to Therrien. Up for Otto, and he's taken out by Shipnick. Ray, helmetless, turning at his own line. Ray starting away. He'll drill one off into the glass of the corner. Snow leaving it back there, and Snow again creating interference. Came in front of the net. Flipped up ahead. Platt couldn't get away. That's for Desjardins. He's taken out by Primo. Platt got it into Podine. Faked his shot. Now he lets it go, and he throws it wide of the net. May charging after it again. Let it drop it off at center ice. Galley carries on. Galley with a pass. Toss too high for Chatan, and it's fed out to center again. And it's a two-liner, and the Flyers will find a face-off back inside their own line.
6:49, Ted Nolan's trying to find some combination that could get some offense going. But the Flyers, we saw them play great defense at the Marine Midland Arena in the third period of Game 2. And they play that neutral zone trap, and they don't play it quite as well as perhaps Ottawa, but they play it well enough to shut people down. There's Ray and Podine going at each other, and Ray loses his helmet, so toughness around the boards, along the boards continues.
Ninema swinging around to the other side. Leclerc pucked it out to center ice. Lindros couldn't get there in time. Schmelik giving it back to Chatan. He'll rip it in, but Yanni Ninema covers up. Works it around to Svoboda. Chatan bumping it in. Sent away to center ice to Zubras. Zubras into the Buffalo zone. Trying to find somebody to give it to. Gets turned around on the boards. It's sent behind the net. Schmelik had it. Poke at it again, and it's gone to the other side for Burridge. Burridge muscled off the puck by Lindros. Back in the corner it goes. Leclerc took a bump, but he still got the puck. Tipped it wide of the net. Sabres after it again to Lindros. He looks out in front, trying to play it to himself off the back of the net. He'll jam it around again. Tipped in by Leclerc. He lost it. Now it comes in front. Shields the save, the rebound. Here's Leclerc, got it in front. Right in front of the net. They shot Shields with an enormous save on Sabres. And the Flyers, Sabres keeping it in again. Sabres gets tripped up in the corner. Schmelik trying to work it around behind the net. Does, but not out. Eichhaus pinches in. He banks it to the other side, and Chatan covers up. Chatan with a fielder check thrown at him by Lacroix. Kept in now. There's Coffey firing it in front, and Schmelik knocked it away. Buffalo starting back with Holzinger, tipping it up ahead. Chatan tried to catch up with it. And around on the boards, Buffalo's making a change here. Back through center is Coffey. He just let the puck go. Galley flips it ahead. In over the line, Barnaby for Plant. Plant sailing behind the net. Plant right out in front. The shot. Snow makes the save. And Barnaby was there. And now getting roughed up. And now the stick's coming up again. As Lacroix and Portick are trying to get in on the act. Against Grosek. 5:05 left in the second.
And Derek Plant had a fine scoring chance as he swept around behind the Philadelphia net, but could not put it by the shoulder pads of the goaltender Garceau. Here's the opportunity as Plant spins and tries to score, but cannot. When Garceau goes down with those thick shoulder pads, he covers a lot of the top of the net. This is what Buffalo has to do more of. Get people to the front. There's Barnaby. He is worked over by Dykhouse in front of Snow. Buffalo with 4 shots on goal here in the second. Philadelphia with 6. And it's Plant, Barnaby, and Grosek for this face-off to the left of Garceau. The Flyers playing a solid game here in the second period defensively, just not giving up much, and when the Sabres do get a scoring chance, they're not getting to any loose pucks or rebounds in front, not getting second chances to score, and that's been really a story of this whole series for them.
Now they're finally ready to go again. Well, maybe not. Lindemore and Plant waiting for the linesman to drop the puck. Schoenheim tipped into the corner. Swoboda turned around by Barnaby. Russell right around to the other side, and Philly will clear the zone as Wilson moved up on the play. Back for Shannon. Shannon ripping one through the middle. Swoboda catching up with it first. Tipped it ahead. That's broken up, but it comes right to Howardchuk, and he'll chip one around behind the net. Field dealing it around to Grosek. Grosek sending it out high in the air. Swoboda is back there. Swoboda gunning it up ahead to Falloon. Pat Falloon to center ice. Wilson challenged him. Howardchuk turns again. Flips it up on the wing to Swoboda. Swoboda sending it through to Falloon. He's taken out by Grosek in the corner. The Flyers keeping it in again. Bounced in front of the net. They'll kick at it. Leclerc could not. Now it's still lying there. Here's Leclerc with a shot. Another whack at it in front. Geared away, but kept in by Terrian. His shot, Shannon knocks down, but can't get it out. Kept in there now. They bang it against the boards. It's locked up in equipment over there, and that's the reason that the whistle went. And we're down to 4:05 left in the second on Empire.
Coming up in our first intermission, Brad May will be our guest. We'll also send it to our buddies at Hockey Hotline, Brian Bussing and Mike Robitaille. And Rick and Jim will take a look back at this second period. Let's head back upstairs.
That's with 4:05 remaining in this second period.
Eric Lindros back on the ice again, along with Leclerc and Zubris. Sabres really haven't tried to match up forward lines, but they have been able to get Alex Zhipnik and Richard Schmelik against this line constantly.
He will take his time and roll one in. Around on the board, Zubris and Ward tangle for it. Zubris shoveled it into the corner. It pops out in front. Lindros keeping it in. He gets checked, but carrying on is Zubris to Leclerc. Leclerc, the shove from Schmelik, still controlling the puck. Back for Lindros. Ward trying to tie him up. Zubris cycles in there. Cleared it in front. Leclerc backhand. He fired it wide. Taken away by Ronan. Ronan loses it in the corner, and Schmeling pulls it around on the boards, but not out. Flyers keep it in. Zhitnik is hammered in there by Leclerc, and now there's a penalty to Sabres. And Lindros just took a dive. Another one.
Well, just the hooking penalty coming up here to Philadelphia, and Gregson saw the Lindros go down to the ice yet another time, but did not make the call as he should. There's the penalty to Zubras, and here comes Lindros. Now, I don't know if we'll see that. No, it's going to be out of the picture, but it's Zubras. 2 minutes for hooking, and Buffalo with a chance here on the power play. 3:24 to go here in the second period. Boy, Lindros and Leclerc are so powerful in the corners, and they get to cycling that puck down low and behind the net. They are impossible to stop, practically. And Lindros playing by far his best game of this series.
Yeah, we had to figure he'd do it here at home, that's for sure.
And it didn't happen in Marine Midland Arena. But again, the absence of Michael Pekka is so valuable to this Buffalo hockey club. Evident here again tonight. That speed down the middle and the puck handling ability, and then the defensive play.
Shannon is turned around by Otto and wings it across the galley. Trying to tip one through the middle. That skips into Holzinger. Beating it behind the net. Snow broke it up. Shatan keeping it in. Around for Holzinger again. Holzinger drops it off to May in the corner. May fighting off a check. Still has the puck. Going to pull away, but it's intercepted now. Ewan just dribbled out as far as center. Galley tumbling to the ice as it rolls down to Shields. Flipped up ahead to Shatan at center. He sends it across, and away comes Buffalo's Holzinger in over the line. Holzinger looking for a trailer, keeping it in there. Holzinger sends it back to the point. Oh, and it came out over the line. It's offside.
And the Buffalo passing has been off tonight. I also mentioned earlier that Philadelphia, for the most part, when they penalty kill in games 1 and 2, were passive. In other words, they didn't force Buffalo. Well, they've made a change here tonight. They have much more aggressive on the puck and forcing the Sabres in those some instances to make those bad passes. So I see a major adjustment in the Flyer penalty killing. Obviously, Terry Murray watched some films and decided he better change things, that the Sabres were getting too many chances on the power play. Well, the Sabres do have a power play goal here tonight, but it was scored on the run.
Svoboda will take his time, and he'll blast it down the ice. Fields watched by Brindamore. Around now to Zhitnik. Zhitnik fires it off the boards. Barnaby's got it at center. Tried to clear it into Grosek too far. Snow flipped it off the glass and chipped. Barnaby keeping it in. There's Barnaby twisting around to Plant. Tried to clear it back. He hit a skate. Barnaby's got it again. Barnaby now sending it to Schmeling. Schmeling took the shot. Kicked away in the corner. Plant picks it up. Plant turning again, trying to keep it in there, sends it into Barnaby. Barnaby took a bump on the board. Svoboda flipped it, and it's deflected now and knocked all the way into the Buffalo end. Flyers are changing as Zhitnik is back to come up with it. Zhitnik starting away, pulls away as he comes to center. Trying to flip it through the middle. It's knocked down at the line, and that's going to be an offside Buffalo.
Let me correct myself. Buffalo did not score a power play goal in the rush. They scored it on a shot from the point by Daryl Shannon. We saw moments ago, though, Matthew Barnaby had the puck in the corner to the left of the goaltender. The Flyers immediately forced him. Buffalo ended up giving it away, and the puck ended up in the neutral zone. And, of course, the other reason the Sabre power play, of course, tonight maybe doesn't look as good as the absence of Donald Adet. One of the guys that really produces when the Sabres enjoy the man advantage is Adet. He is not playing because of a shoulder problem.
Yes, as anemic as the Buffalo power play has been, you don't want your snipers, any of them, out of the lineup. Certainly harmful to the cause.
And Donald is their top scorer on the power play.
And Shannon lugging it in now, trying to drop it off on the boards. They all jam in there, but they're going to end up getting a face-off.
Those quick whistles in the corner. Sometimes in a game that's tricky like this, the referee will not allow the teams to continue to play the puck or pry it loose, and fear that something's going to break out, like a fight or some type of altercation, and so that time Gregson blew the whistle quickly. 12 seconds remaining on the Buffalo power play. One thing in a game like this, boy, you got to keep yourself up, keep positive, and hope that your club gets a bounce or a break to get you back in the game.
Philly will control the puck from the face-off and send it down the ice, and that'll just about do it. Well, this man advantage situation, and now Otto stole the puck away, but it's gunned around on the boards, ends up going to center, and the Flyers return to full strength. Desjardins slipping it across ice. Hitnick kicking it away, but he can't get away, and Leclerc starts back in. The Sabres cutting in backhand, shields the save. It's cranked off the boards to center. Ninema feeding it across to Coffey with about a minute remaining in the second period. Coffey up for Lindros, charging after it. Here's Shields to hack it away. It all the way to center. Zubras knocking it down. He deals it back to Coffey again. Coffey just flipping it in over the line. Shannon recovering for Buffalo. Shannon sliding it to Burridge, but it bounced right to Lindros. Lindros taps one in over the line, and this is an offside. The Flyers were making a change. Eric seemed to lose interest in that shift.
Well, he did.
I don't know how else to.
That's exactly what he did. He got disgusted probably with himself, as John Leclerc ended up being caught inside the blue line when Eric tried to shoot the puck in deep. But the Sabres with only 4 shots on goal and have not tested Garth Snow again here tonight consistently. And credit some great play in the neutral zone by Philadelphia, and particularly in their own end of the rink, moving the puck out well against the Buffalo forecheck.
Shannon getting challenged by Brindamore, has to hustle back after it. Now behind the net, Daryl Shannon trying to pull away, and does, but then Brindamore bothers him again and chases him all the way back into the corner. He leaves it to Wilson. Wilson scoots it out to center ice. Svoboda smacks it back in. Shields will leave it for Shannon. Off the boards, too high for Shatan. Svoboda coming up with it, taps it ahead to Falloon. Falloon got it in over the line, and well, now there's a bump in front of the net as Shields got hit by Desjardins, and no penalty called there. And Steve Shields is looking in the direction of the referee saying, what the heck is going on? Barnaby gets nailed at the other end twice.
Now, that's not very consistent refereeing, as Desjardins had the puck bounce over his stick and made no effort to avoid contact with the goaltender Steve Shields. But boy, chalk up an excellent 20 minutes of play in the second period by Philadelphia, and they maintain the lead.
They do it indeed, 3-1, the same as the score was at the end of the first period of play. So nothing has changed, and I believe I heard in the background that they've set an attendance record inside that Core State Center tonight. We'll end up getting a whistle.
Well, the Philadelphia Flyers, how well do they protect the lead, or how well did they during the regular season? Pretty well, and perfect in the playoffs. They're leading here tonight by a score of 3-1.
Brindamore and Galley are getting penalties.
Now, Terry Gregson has a short fuse tonight and a quick whistle. He is called virtually, well, I hesitate to say every infraction. He hasn't done that, but he's called the majority of the infractions tonight, and he's been consistent in that area. And this type of game hurts Buffalo because, again, they like to roll 4 lines, and Gregson has not allowed them to do that tonight. They've been on the penalty kill frequently and also on the power play. And we have not played 5 skaters aside for long stretches of time, and that hurts Buffalo.
The Legion of Doom -1 is out there now for the Flyers. Renberg is sidelined with the flu in any event, but Philly, of course, is shorthanded 1 man right now, along with Buffalo. Desjardins gets checked. Holzinger swings it in over the line, but covering up is Carrian, lost it in the corner. Holzinger goes darting in there. Desjardins kicks it away, didn't get it out. Schmeling took the shot, fired it wide. Holzinger unable to come up with it in the corner. Lindros dropping it back. That'll go to center ice. Here's Leclerc getting in over the line, and he's checked by Shipnick. Schmeling tapping one into Shatan. Shatan cuts in front, left it to Schmeling, backhand goes wide. Pulled around on the boards. Lindros trying to get the pass at center. Instead, lets it go to Terrien. In over the line. Here's Desjardins, the shot, and he fired it wide. Hitnick comes ripping right back for Buffalo. Hitnick cruising in, drills one. Snow kicked it away. Dubras squeezing it off the boards. Bugner kicked it into Shatan, tried to hook it in front of the net. Ninema recovers, and then Ninema tripped up Ward, and Ninema will go.
Well, maybe this will be the opportunity that Buffalo is looking for. They will have a 4-on-3, 52 seconds remaining in the penalties to Brindamore and Galley. Now Ninema goes for tripping up Dixon Ward. So this is a huge moment in this hockey game. Here's the play as Ward is tripped up, and no question about that call, and a very weak penalty again by the Flyers. Both clubs tonight, on many occasions, have been undisciplined. That is very un-playoff-like. So Ted Nolan sends Holzinger, along with Grosek up front, Shannon, and Derek Plant. Or will Holzinger may play the point here. We'll wait until they line up. He often takes that position on the power play.
I believe he will, because Plant and Grosek are going to be up front.
And Joel Otto, again, to take this face-off. Otto is the best player on face-offs. And this is always a situation, both centermen work extra hard on this, particularly the defensive centerman, knowing that if he loses it, his club is immediately in danger of being scored upon.
And now they'll try it, and Otto wins the draw. It's tipped off of Holzinger's glove out to center. Shannon then has some difficulty, and it's whipped across now to Podine. Shannon trying to take it back. Right behind the net, Holzinger coming up with it for Buffalo. It's by Otto, gets away from him. Works it to Grosek. Grosek to the Flyer line and over. He got checked, but he left it there into Grosek again. Grosek swinging it back to Plant. Plant to Holzinger to Derek Plant again. Plant beat it in front of the net. They whack at it. Here's Plant trying to stuff it in the short side, and Snow stretched out and holds on to that one.
Now some pretty good goaltending again by Garth Snow, but I'm not so sure Derek Plant was on a good angle to score. See the huge shoulders again of the Philadelphia goaltender. At that time, Snow was down on the ice. The Sabres, here's the play, as Plant tried to put it to the front of the net. And could not put it back to the front as Snow holds on to the faceoff. 18 seconds remaining in the coincidental penalties and 1:27 on Ninema's penalties. So another face-off, and the Sabres have not done the things tonight up to this point that win you games, like win face-offs and keep the puck in at the blue line. See if they can do it this time.
Still a 4-on-3 advantage for Buffalo. Here comes free. It's kept in now to Shannon. Shannon sending it down low. Plant hanging on to the puck, trying to spread him out. Derek Plant put it right in front, and Shannon couldn't get there in time. Holzinger charged across the ice, but unable to pick it up. Fed in the other direction to Plant. He'll dump it in. Burridge hustling in there. Snow chips it behind the net. Around on the boards. And Lindros was sending it all the way down. Shields taps it around to Holzinger in the corner. Taking a bump from Podine. And it's worked free now to Galley. Galley working it now to Burridge in over the line. Burridge looking for a trailer, still lugging the puck, flipped it around behind the net. Svoboda takes it away. Here rattles it in the other direction. Galley keeping it in. Flips it back into the corner. Burridge lets it slide around to Holzinger. Holzinger tried to give it to Plant again. Kick free on the boards. Plant got rid of it out to center ice. Shannon slipping it across ice. Buffalo is changing. Terrien starting away. Terrien took a shot, and it's blocked by Galley, and they do some extra shoving in the corner. The Sabres start back with Zhitnik. Hitnick pulling away at center ice. Clears it over to Daw. Daw looking in front of the net. He's bothered. Dumps it off into the corner again. Shatan leaving it there. Ward got knocked down. Got it back to the point. That's deflected high in the air. Kept in by Ward again. Ward swings it back to Zhitnik. He's checked by Ninema coming out of the penalty box. And Coffey starts to center ice. Coffey is squeezed out and taken off the puck. And Schmelik overskates it. And around on the boards, and it's poked free to Shatan. Shatan slipping one over to Ward. Ward knocked off the puck at the blue line, and it's chopped back out, but called in any event on the delayed offside. 4 minutes into the third on Empire. This face-off outside the Flyer line. The penalty box empty again. Schmelik back after the puck. So is LeClaire. They wrestle. It's tapped in. Now here's Lindros. Fired it out in front and sends it all the way down on his own goaltender. Nina. No. To go back after it. Zubris knocked it ahead. Picked out of the air by Schmelik. Sending it in the other direction. Dykhouse gunning one up to Coffey. Platt tried to get away. Platt flips it in over the line. Barnaby hustling in there after it. Barnaby bumping with Dykhouse. Platt took a hit but kept it in to Barnaby, and it came back through the middle. Sabres recovering again. Zhitnik got away from one. Now slips it across to Barnaby. Barnaby in over the line. Oh, and he tried to pass. It was too far for Platt. Platt got it back at center ice. Platt still has it. And it knocked off his stick all the way to Shields. Shields uses the boards. Up to Plant again. The pass for Barnaby. Barnaby slipping in over the line. Barnaby tried to go wide. Still with the puck. Dropped it off, but it's flipped out to center ice. Bugner recovering. Buffalo changing. Bugner's pass all the way back to Swoboda. He'll drill it to center. Brindamore trying to get away. Got turned around. Ran into his own man, Falloon. May slips one into the Philadelphia corner. They're going to call this one an icing against Buffalo.
Now, one thing that has plagued Buffalo also tonight is their passing. Usually they are a crisp, accurately passing hockey team. That has not happened here tonight. And they look like they're very tentative and nervous with the puck. And when they have opportunities to make good passes, they're just not consistently doing it. And I'm sure that's something that Ted Nolan has in mind. It's something that the team practices religiously. They start off their morning skates with passing up and down the ice, no shooting on goal, just the line rushes and touch passes. And tonight their passing is not accurate.
Well, we've played 5.5 minutes in this period, and there has not been a shot on goal at either end. There's a 3-on-2 for Buffalo. Ronan in over the line. Ronan tried to squeeze it in front. Terrien knocked it away. And then he tagged Ronan with a check. Desjardins coming back. He'll flip it into the corner. This is going to be icing, but Shields played the puck. Then around to the boards. Ronan chips it free. Up to Ward. Ward trying to squeeze it to the other side. Daw tapped it ahead. Terrien after it. Ronan tried to get in there, and he got squeezed out by Terrien. Up to Lacroix at center. He'll dump one in, and the Flyers make a change. On pass to Ronan. Couldn't come up with it. Drilled right back in again. Shields handling that and giving it to Zhitnik. Zhitnik pulling away at center ice. Finally got checked. Ronan helps him out. Ed Ronan wants to tip it in over the line. Does to Burridge. Burridge got taken down, and it ends up over the blue line. Now knocked back in on an offside.
Suddenly, if you compare this period and even the second period to the first period, there's no ice out there. There's no room to maneuver with the puck. Close checking, particularly by Philadelphia, as they attempt to protect this 3-1 lead.
Well, folks, come and show your support for the hardest working team in hockey before every home playoff game. Music, food, entertainment, all in the plaza between the arena and parking garage. Sabretooth is going to make an appearance. Full of cotton candy, ice cream, popcorn vendors. A lot of fun for everybody. Just Podine being checked, but Philly managed to clear the zone. Zhitnik is back there. Swings it across to Schmelik. Up on the wing now off of Chatan's stick. Snow started out of the net. It bounced around by Swoboda to the other side. Otto sending it back to Peter Swoboda again. Swoboda being chased around by Chatan. Shovels it into the corner. Well sent off the boards, and it ends up going to center, where Schmelik will dish it across to Holzinger. Holzinger trying to bust down low, turns again, keeping it in there for Buffalo. Back to the point, sent now into Schmelik. Schmelik took his shot, and that one goes high and out of play. 7 minutes have passed by here in the third. Philly with the same score as at the end of one.
They said imports taste better. They lied.
And how does that make you feel?
Used, manipulated, betrayed.
And how does that make you feel?
Used, manipulated, betrayed.
So now what?
Only drink fresh beer. Budweiser.
You have made a real breakthrough. You did it on your own.
Born on dating from Budweiser. What fresh beer tastes like.
You're on the road to freshness. Hold all my calls.
If your bank is going through a lot of changes lately, now's the time to change to M&T. We're offering great rates, like our 13-month CD at 6% and a 30-month CD at 6.5%. A free $50 U.S. savings bond when you open your CD, and more ways to make banking more convenient for you. So make a change for the better and change to M&T, all the bank you'll ever need.
Philadelphia continuing to lead by that pair of goals that stood up since the first period. Jason Arnott has scored to give the Oilers the lead over the Colorado Avalanche in the second period. Well, the contingent from Buffalo along to hopefully see their team come from behind. And stretch this game into OT here in Philadelphia tonight. They're going to have to get some shots on goal in order to accomplish that. Desjardins working it up to Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck got it through center. This is an offside, but Galley takes it back. Galley swings it to Grosek in over the line. Grosek trying to cut in. Didn't get the shot away. Swings behind the net. They'll drop it off, but it's recovered by Terrien, and he flipped it off Shannon's glove to center right. Galley turning again. To Shannon. Shannon checked by Howard-Chuck, and then Punt came back to take it away from him. Cross to Galley. Galley tried to pass. That one deflected. It's fired right onto Shannon's stick. Shannon scooping it to Barnaby. In over the line. Going to get away from Desjardins. The Flyers just flip it all the way down the ice, wide of the net. Well, this one's coming back icy.
The Buffalo Sabres have played against the trap all season long, and the Flyers are instituting the trap here again in the third period, and the Sabres are just not getting the puck in deep and going to work on it. Now watch see the Flyers just send one man. They drop 4 men back in the neutral zone, and the Sabres just cannot make a good play. They attempt to force the puck up the middle. And you can see the close checking. Look at that. Well, you make a pass, and immediately one of the Flyers is on. And then here's what they're doing. Anytime there's not a play to the wing or to the middle of the ice, they're just shooting it to the neutral zone. That one went too far for icing.
Warning Lindros and Primo to get set for the face-off. Involved in the corner. Here comes May, and May is going to get a penalty now for knocking down Coffey. And now we've got Ray and Lindros at very close quarters. Dykhouse is over there, but May is going to get it for taking down Coffey.
Now they hit Coffey from behind in the corner. Coffey is still down on the ice. And May's going to the penalty box with 11:50 to go. And you don't want to be taking penalties at this stage of the game when you're down by 3-1. And Paul Coffey has been a target in this series also. The Sabres know, of course, that they have to be physical with Coffey. There's the penalty on May. It wasn't directly from behind. It was from the side, but enough to draw the penalty. And a charging call. Paul Coffey playing some of his best hockey of the playoffs in the last 2 games. He has 3 assists here tonight. And you talk about someone who stays in condition. Certainly would think of Paul Coffey. He's going right to the, at least down the hallway anyways. Thought for a moment he'd go to the dressing room. He may yet.
He's in that general direction anyway.
But Paul Coffey at 36 years old, still one of the great skaters in the game, always in top condition. He rides the bike after every game for long distances, not just for 5 or 10 minutes, but for a good half hour to 40 minutes. He's been troubled with a right knee that bothered him a lot against Pittsburgh, but it's been okay in this series so far.
Shipnick trying to work in along the wall, can't do it, and it ends up on Howard Chuck's stick in the corner. So the Flyers looking for their 3rd power play goal of the night as Lindros tips it in. Shields to Shipnick. Shipnick had to pull away from Leclerc, got it up on the boards. It's kicked out to center ice. Up right back in for Lindros. Schmelik took it away from him. Knocked down at the line and chopped out to center. Ward has Desjardins get in front of him. Fed to Leclerc to Ninema. Ninema spinning around at center. Slipping it to Desjardins. He'll rip one in off the glass. Tapped back along the boards. Taken good in front, and Howard Chuck fired it over top of the net. Lindros has it. Swings it back to Ninema. Ninema over to Desjardins with a shot. Shields sent that one away. Ward checked behind the net. It comes out in front. Shields the save. And he scrolls, and then Ward comes over and shovels the puck underneath him.
Now you have to be strong against John Leclerc and Eric Lindros in the corner with the puck. The Sabres were not. Dale Howard-Chuck ended up with a point-blank scoring chance on Shields, the second one he had in the shift. Watch what happens. Buffalo will gain possession of the puck here. And they're just not strong enough on the puck. John Leclerc takes it away from Dixon Ward and creates this scoring chance for Howard-Chuck. What a brilliant stop by Shields, who is tough here again tonight for Buffalo. Howard-Chuck had another chance earlier and shot it over top of the net.
Back behind the goal. Galley will swing it around on the glass. Not out. Coffey kept it in, and now it's recovered by Buffalo and sent to center ice.
This is where Buffalo, they have to go for a goal here shorthanded, down by 3-1.
45 seconds remaining in the Buffalo penalty. Stolen by Holzinger. Shoots one. Snow makes the save as he came out to challenge. Coffey starts back. Coffey to the Buffalo line. Flings it into Brindamore. Brindamore on behind the net, looking for the open man. Brindamore back to Coffey again. Took his shot. Shields the save. Slipped into the corner. Checked in by Balloon. Now across to Coffey. Coffey sending it into Brindamore. Didn't get his shot away. Coffey to Desjardins. His shot. Shields kicked it away. Rebound went wide by Brindamore. Head around on the board. Tipped back to the blue line. Kept in. Dumped into the corner, and a shot by Balloon goes wide. Flyers keep the pressure on with the man advantage. Now May gets out of the box. It's cleared across ice. May scooping it up and bringing it back out for Buffalo. May winding up, took the shot. Snow flags that one down. Fired it, not out. May trying to keep it in, and he chopped the stick of the goaltender right out of his hand. Ends up going to center ice. Lindros starting back. Lindros got around the board. Looking back into the corner again. Here's Lindros ending off flat. Lindros looking in front. Trying to leave it there. Schmelik takes it away. Schmelik looking at the Barnaby. Barnaby flipping it across to Grosek in over the line. Grosek booting it in front. Deflected just wide by Schmelik. And it goes out of play. And the Philadelphia team very surprisingly started to open it up, and the Sabres almost took advantage.
Well, Eric Lindros has got half of the sharp sign on the side of his right leg, as that happened inside the Buffalo blue line, and it stayed on his leg for quite some time. But Buffalo, here's the play here, as Lindros streaks into the zone and almost gets clipped down by Alex Zitnik, but picks up the A off the sharp side and keeps it on his right leg.
Got a wedding gown on.
I don't think you'd say that in person to him, would you?
Oh, no,
Well, you might say it and then run like crazy.
I'm not that fast.
Well, a face-off to the left of Snow. Buffalo, though, did have a great scoring chance on the man advantage. It was Holzinger who tried to slap the puck by Snow but couldn't do it. The time now ticking off for Buffalo. 9:08 to go, and they still trail by 2, 3-1.
I'm just surprised that Philly started to open up like that.
They don't want to do that. They want to continue to play that tight checking game. They got away from it there for a couple of minutes.
Tapped around on the boards now. Dykos comes up with it. Barnaby got a piece of him, but it goes through center ice. Schmeling. Leads it to Shipnick. Pass to Barnaby. Barnaby, though, couldn't control the puck. He bumps with Podine and knocks his hat off. Here's Grosek turning around. Slipping it over. Schmeling again to Shipnick. Back to Schmeling. Schmeling trying to gain center ice, and he will now, and he'll flip one in. Beat up by Snow, tipped back into the corner. It's whacked off the glass. Schmeling tipped it in, fleeced momentarily. Now it comes to center. And the Flyers come back, and the long shot doesn't get through as Shipnick broke it up and taps it in the other direction as Bruce let it go. Back after it, Carrian. Both teams are changing. Carrian lost it, kept in by Buffalo. Here's Ronan trying to knock it free. That's knocked down by Galley in front of the net. Left it there, and it's tipped to the line. Ronan whipped the shot. That deflects to the corner. Daw trying to keep it in. Galley moves up on the play, fired it in front, and went off a skate to Ronan. Ronan charging in there again, trying to come up with it. Came free again. Sabres Daw keeping it in. Cleared it out in front. The backhand is knocked out. Another whack at it, but goes to center ice. Now Philly changing quickly. Pass ahead to Ronan and over the line. Ronan tried to clear it to Ward, but intercepted. Leclerc coming back with Lacroix. Trying to clear it in front and broken up by Shannon. Ward now hitting the Flyer line. Ward squeezes it through to Daw. Daw trying to flip it in front. It's taken away in the corner. Chopped around behind the net. Ninema comes up with a puck. Ninema intercepted by Shannon. Shannon in over the line. Sends it off into the corner. Holzinger racing in there. Ninema cleared it away. May comes charging after the puck. Picked up by Shipnick. Shipnick coming right back. It's into Philadelphia territory. Shipnick took the shot to goal post. Breaked it off the pipe. And the Flyers send it out to center ice. And a great opportunity for Buffalo goes awry. Sent to Chatan. Chatan to Holzinger. He can't get anywhere. Lindros flips it ahead. That'll be kicked down at the line. Offside against the Flyers. 6.5 to go here in the third period. Philadelphia still sitting on top after Alexei Shipnick is foiled.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres down 3-1 here in Philadelphia. Sabres have not had success in this city. 0-9 and been outscored 38-17.
Barnaby taking out his check. It's kept in to Plant for the shot. That one went wide of the net. Coffey comes up with it. And he'll just get rid of it high in the air to center. Schmeling knocks it down, but it's kicked to the blue line. Now flipped over the line, and this is another offside against the Flyers. And time is certainly becoming a big factor in this game with 6:16 left on the clock.
Now, Ted Nolan trying to get his goal scorers on the ice as much as possible now. A club looking for goals. We'll see Alex Shipnick playing a lot here in the third period. Alex told me this morning he was going to carry the puck more tonight. He has done that and done that effectively. And you'll see Daryl Shannon and Gary Galley, who's teamed with him now, they'll try to join the rush as much as possible. They'll be pinching at the Philadelphia line to try to keep the play going. And of course, when you start maneuvers like that, you open yourself up to odd man rushes.
Ninema will chip one in, but it'll be taken back by Shannon. There's Shannon. Galley, long high pass. Boy, now here's Daw over the line, and Ronan did everything except pull a groin trying to stay onside. But he was not successful.
That time, Buffalo broke the Philadelphia trap coming out of the zone. They worked the puck up the left wing. Watch what happens here. We can just stop it. See, this is Eric Lindros. What he's doing is charging in this way, and as soon as he does that, Buffalo sent it rink wide. You see the 5 players back in the neutral zone for the Flyers. Unfortunately for Buffalo, Ed Ronan goes offside at the line, as Jason Daw was attempting to go wide on the defenseman.
Galley now puts the one off into the corner, but Svoboda is there. He took a bump, got it to Lindros, gnawed out. Shannon took his shot. He clicked in front of the net. Another whack at it. Right in front of the net again. Another whack at it. Knocked down to Ward. Couldn't come up with a puck. Head around on the board. Back to Shannon. Swings it over on the other side. Ronan tucks it into Ward. He overskates the puck. Leclerc gets it back. Uses the glass. No. Buffalo holding it in. Cinema turning. He fired it but didn't get it out. Ronan has turned around, keeping it in there. Shannon trying to move up. He does. Shannon didn't get the shot away. Galley fires it, but that's kicked away. And the Flyers now, Leclerc will come to center across to... well, there's a penalty to Buffalo. Too many men on the ice.
Now that was unfortunate for Buffalo. Shatan hopped over the boards just as the puck arrived at the Buffalo bench. It was a rink-wide pass. And there was no question the Sabres did have too many men on the ice. But 5:14 to go here in regulation time. Watch the play. This is actually a bad pass by Leclerc to Eric Lindros. It goes behind him. Now there's Shatan. He had just stepped onto the ice. And you can see that's not even close as the Buffalo player only then got to the bench. You've got to be careful on those line changes and make sure that the player you're replacing is a lot closer than that going off the ice.
No, he would have been called if it hadn't hit him.
Probably not. That's right.
However, there's no doubt about it. Too many men. Jitnik flipping it off to Schmelik. He'll use the boards to send it back through center ice, but Pompey is there to play one of the points on the power play, and under 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Whipped across to Brindamore. He'll whip it to the other side. Desjardins leaving it back there. Falloon curling around, drops it off in the corner, and it's tapped back to the blue line and rolls out to center. Pompey couldn't come up with the puck. Fed around on the boards again. Schmelik charging after it, but it ends up on Desjardins' stick. Now to Brindamore. Through the middle it comes, in over the line, a shot right on. Falloon let it go. Back it comes down to Coffey. He clears it in front. That shot went wide as Pitnick came over and wiped out his check. Back through center ice. Coffey's got it again with Buffalo changing, trying to pass this time. That went wide of the net, and this is icing against the Flyers.
Now what a great stop Steve Shields made of Pat Falloon as Falloon got in behind the Buffalo defense. The Flyers are passing the puck very well tonight. Falloon took the lead pass but could not beat Steve Shields, who once again tonight has been terrific in goal. 30 shots. Here's Falloon. And Shields stopped the puck with his right pad. You can see the stick actually was off the ice. Falloon tried to go 5-hole and couldn't find it. Shields is watching on the replay. In the Jumbotron.
A minute remaining in the Buffalo penalty. Cinema gave it away. Plant keeping it in. Here's Plant. He's grabbed from behind. Put it right through the goal crease, but Lindros was there to pick it up. Lindros coming back. Hitting the Buffalo line. Trying to shovel it through. Did, and Shields came across and made a great save again on Leclerc.
John Leclerc and Eric Lindros, a great 1-2 combination. Lindros with terrific hands feathers a perfect backhand pass to Leclerc, who skated hard to the net right from the Philadelphia line to the Buffalo goal crease. He couldn't score. And Eric Lindros playing his best game of the series here tonight. 38 seconds remaining in Chatan's penalty. 3:52 in regulation.
Leclerc holding it in to Coffey. Swings it over on the other side. Ninema clear to the goal crease, and it's swept away, but not out. Nick Coffey with it. Ninema keeping it into Coffey again. Coffey shuffles down low, tips it across ice. Howard Chuck in the corner. Bangs it around to Lindros on the other side. Back to Coffey to Lindros. Trying to find room in the slot. Gets checked and Plant starts away. Plant, the dribble it ahead, does. Lindros getting it back. A hack from Barnaby. It's left back there. Barnaby taking out Ninema. At the center ice, Lindros kicks it in over the line, and he kicked it in offside just as Buffalo returns to full strength. 3:12 left on the clock in the third period. Philly by 2 on Empire. Well, make the right decision. Insist on Karuba collision. And about the only thing that stuck to Eric Lindros tonight is some sharp tape, because he's managed to evade most of the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go here in regulation. Desperation time for Buffalo. They have got to throw everything at Philadelphia, pinch their defense, and try to get a goal here.
Punched in by the Flyers. Schmeling giving it to Shitnik. Pulls away from Otto. Shitnik up on the wing now to Shatan. He'll rip one in. Snow halting it back there, leaving it to Terrien. He got it around on the boards, but not out. Shitnik keeping it in. Now it pops free. And the Flyers with Otto upping it out in far center. Mays all over him, spun him around, but Philly will change. And Shatan starting back. Here's Shatan, shovels it in over the line to Schmeling, cutting in front. The shot deflected. Knocked back down in the corner. Ripped off the boards again, and it ends up going to center ice. Schmeling knocked it away, but Brindamore carries on. One man back, Olsinger. Brindamore trying to flip it in front, and Shields makes the save. Taken back by Shitnik. He drills a pass ahead. That misses everybody, and this will be icing against Buffalo.
And you see the quality scoring chances going to Philadelphia here in the third, not to Buffalo. They have just been too strong tonight for the Sabres. The Sabres managing only a total of 16 shots. They had 8 in the first, 4 in the second, and only 4 here in the third, and you're just not going to win hockey games with that kind of offensive production. And it has been a tough, long night for the Buffalo Sabres. And the Flyers, by certainly the better hockey club here up to this point with 2:09 to play. And Lindros is back on the ice along with LeClaire and Zubris.
Dawes out to take this face up. Chop out of the circle. Galley comes up with it, up to Ward, and hit the linesman. Ward had to wait for it. And Dixon Ward again to the Flyer line. Gets knocked down, and Lindros away as far as center to LeClaire. He's slowed down, brought into the blue line again by Zubris. Zubris tapping it in for LeClaire. He's all tangled up with Shannon, who kicks it behind the net. Zubris bothered by Galley. It's flipped ahead, but not out. Lindros keeping it in. To Zubris again. Zubris still with the puck in the corner. Got away from Galley. Here's Zubris around to LeClaire, out in front, and Shields is there to fling it away to Daw. Daw starting out. The long pass up ahead, but Ronan couldn't touch it. He was offside. There's LeClaire coming back in again. Feeds it in front, and Lindros got a piece of it. Shields made the save, threw it away, but the whistle had already gone.
And 1:17 to go in regulation. Steve Shields has been just brilliant here in the third period. 16 shots in goal, and he's been perfect. All the scoring came in the first period of play. But here's the Sabres again. And Shields wanted to keep this play going. He hopefully trapped some of the Flyers in the zone, but the whistle blew. He has been just solid here in this hockey game again for Buffalo. And
he has so.
And just not getting much support up front, but it has been an overpowering effort tonight by the Flyers, and not diminish the way they have played this hockey game. They have just been strong and solid, getting the lead, and then so far being able to handle the lead with ease, or hold on to the lead with ease.
So Otto on the draw now for Philadelphia, tapping it back. Modine keeping it in, and Early jumped into the corner by Platt. Smellick gets involved. Here's Platt trying to pry it free. They'll chop it around on the boards. Platt shovels it back into the mix again. And now he comes up with it in front. Otto a shot. Shields makes the save. And shovels it away to Platt, who can't get it out. Otto keeps it in. Into the corner. Roshik trying to get free and does. Sending it for Platt. Platt in over the line. Left it to Barnaby. Took his shot, and Woody just missed. And then Brindamore ran into his own goaltender. Back in the corner, Barnaby getting involved, bumping into Terrian, but it's flipped away and sent down the ice. Holzinger going back after it. And the crowd on their feet now is cleared to Holzinger. The Sabres pulling their goaltender. Holzinger in over the line. Tried to kick it through, but it's tapped out to center. Gitnick getting it back again. Barnaby hustles to get out of the zone. The Flyers break it up, and it slipped down the ice, and they score. The shot from Desjardins is on blue line. Knocks it into the empty net, and that certainly does it, if indeed it wasn't done before, with 11.7 seconds left on the clock.
Now, Eric Desjardins picking up the loose puck. Not even trying to gain center ice. He had confidence that he could score from his side of center, and he did it.
I don't think he would have tried it had they been up by only one goal.
Sir, that's a play where you get that puck up in the area that he did, where you just dump it softly into the opposition zone because you do not want to face off in case you miss. But Desjardins was confident he could put it in the middle of the net, and he did that. And this one will go to Philadelphia, and they will take a commanding 3-game lead in this series.
So we are dealing with formality again on the face-off. It's fired ahead to Chatan, but went behind him on the pass from Galley. Back in the corner, stuffed around on the boards again. Held in by Shannon. He jams it along the boards, but too late. And this hockey game has come to a close.
And this is a hockey game that the Buffalo Sabres cannot say we should have won, because this was clearly Philadelphia's game from the first period right on through to the end of 60 minutes. Garceau did not have a lot of action around him tonight, but he did make some big stops to keep the Flyers' lead intact. And it was just a strong performance tonight defensively by the Flyers.
Well, Philadelphia in the third period really taking over with a 16-4 edge in shots on goal in those 20 minutes alone. And 38-16 in the game, but all that matters not, because the Flyers have a 3-0 lead in the series after a 4-1 win here at the Core State Center.
Ice cold beer here.
Beer store.
Beauty pools are simply the best built pool. And now they're even more affordable. Beauty Pools offers a lifetime guaranteed gunite in-ground pool with concrete steps, frost-proof ceramic tile with a Marsite finish that never needs painting, pump, filter, and all electrical work for your pool. 3 feet of concrete around the entire pool and a lifetime guarantee with no hidden costs. The only thing you had is a lifetime of fun. You owe it to yourself to call Beauty Pools today at 674-3500.
The NJC AA Division III College World Series is back in Batavia for another year. Come out and see the Stars of Tomorrow in this year's tournament at Dwyer Stadium, May 17th through the 23rd. Tickets for the 18 double elimination tournament are on sale now, $3 a day or $12 for a tournament pass. Don't miss exciting college baseball at its very best. To reserve your front row seat, call 343-5454 now.
Somewhere between third and the shortstop's physical limits, there is a hole. A dark netherworld that swallows up seeing-eye singles and men's pride. It is patrolled by heroes, brave men who jump in blind, stab at the darkness, only to be rewarded with a tasty dirt sandwich.
The Bash Brothers face the Big Hurt, Thursday at 8 on Empire Sports.
Welcome back to the post game here at the Core States Center. The Flyers beat the Sabres 4-1 on Empire, taking a 3-0 lead in the best-of-7 series. Brian Holzinger, our guest. And Brian, obviously a tough one to swallow, especially since you didn't get too many scoring chances in this one.
Yeah, it is. But you know, we had a chance on the power play, 4-on-3. We got to be better than that and get some good opportunities to score there. But you know, the power play has been a struggle for us all year, and you know, once again, it's a struggle here tonight. And now we find ourselves down 3-0.
Brian, what was the difference in this game? It seemed like the Flyers played a better game, to their credit.
Yeah, they did. You know, I think especially the big line with Lindros and Leclerc, and I know Renberg was out, but Zubris was in there tonight, and they seemed to get down low on us. And you know, they got 2 power play goals early, which really broke our back. But you know, you got to give them a lot of credit. They played well tonight, and we just seemed to not be able to get anything going.
In the third period, particularly, obviously you were trying to get the offense going, but were they just frustrating you out there?
Oh yeah, I think so. You know, they really didn't give us much to freewheel and open up. It was pretty much similar to the way we played Ottawa in the 7-game series. But you know, it's a little frustrating when things don't go your way. But you know, like I said, you got to give them a lot of credit. They played pretty well.
It's tough too because you're missing some players. I mean, when you're missing a Michael Peck and a Donald Audette, that makes things a little more difficult.
Yeah, certainly it does. You know, a team that doesn't really score that many goals as it is, anytime your leading goal scorer's out of the lineup, sure that's going to hurt. Michael Peck has done a great job for us against the big lines of the opposition. You know, certainly those guys are going to hurt us, but you know, like I said, we had an opportunity to get back in the game on the power play, and we didn't get it done. And you know, we have to find a way to get that thing going. And I know we're down 3-0, but it takes 4 to win, and we're just going to have to battle to the very end.
All right, thanks very much. We do appreciate you coming by. Brian Holzing, our guest here on the post-game. When we come back, Rick Jeanneret and Jim Lorenz will wrap things up here from the Coors State Center. The final score, the Flyers beat the Sabres 4-1, taking a 3-0 lead in the best-of-7 series.
Sometimes the batteries are included. Sometimes you find a space with time on the meter. It's great to get more than you expected, like with a Ford Escort. At such a great price, who'd expect the hot new styling and more powerful engine? But you get it all in an Escort at your local Ford dealers. But since we're talking about more than you expected, for a limited time, get an Escort and get $1,000 cash back. Now that's a pleasant surprise. But hurry, you can't expect this offer to last.
Come on, show me your new smile. Oh, I see. We're all grown up now. Pretty soon, it'll be boyfriends, tuition, a wedding. No, sorry, just kidding. I suppose pretty soon you'll be needing a car.
Really?
Really? That's a smile.
Dad.
Oh, that was a smile. I think we can take the check. Check, please.
What you're about to learn may excite you, because the fact is it will help increase performance. I'm talking about Go, 93-octane super unleaded gasoline. It's quality you won't find from every major brand. Gulf's Advent 21 formula keeps fuel injectors clean and helps your car run better than ever before. So switch for the life of your car. You know the name. Go, Go.
While panning for gold one day, Will found a strange, sweet-smelling root. He took it back to camp, put it in a pot, and added some secret ingredients. You know, I reckon Will never did find gold, but after he tasted the sweet, creamy liquid, he knew he'd found something far more valuable. Well, folks, that's the legend, and this is the root beer.
4-1 win by Philadelphia here tonight, and the first game in Philly gives the Flyers a 3-0 edge in the best-of-7 series. And I think you said it best. The Flyers certainly were full marks for their victory tonight of all 3 of the games that have been played so far.
This was their best game without question. I thought defensively they really got it going in the second game in Buffalo, in the third period particularly, and they carried that attitude into tonight's game. And what the heck, Eric Lindros had a big game tonight. I thought he was just a dominating player. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Paul Coffey dominated tonight, and it was a game where Philadelphia, they were simply the better team.
Time for our Dunlop Tires Handle It play of the game.
Well, Buffalo didn't have much to cheer about, but this was a fine power play goal as Daryl Shannon lets the shot go from just inside the circle. The Sabres get some traffic in front of the net, and the puck seemed to glance off Steve Dykhouse and beat the goaltender Gar Snow.
Next time you need tires with a difference, handle it with Dunlop Tires. So now the Sabres have to look look ahead to, I guess this is maybe not the right expression to use, but they have to look ahead to Friday night.
Well, they do, and you know, again, 3 games, you're down 3 to nothing. You just say, well, okay, we have to win one at a time. I know it's an old cliche, but that's the only way you can look at it. And you have to maintain a positive attitude. Be interesting to see whether Dominic Hasek will be back in the net for Buffalo. He is now eligible after serving the 3-game suspension. Well, he did practice this morning. Yes. He did take some shots. So that will be a decision that Ted Nolan will have to make. And will Michael Pekka play? That would certainly be a big advantage. And also, will Donald Adet be healthy? So those 3 players, particularly Pekka and Donald Adet, were really missed tonight.
Well, our best Dodge 3 stars from tonight's game, not surprisingly, were selected as Philadelphia Flyers. Paul Coffey, who had 3 assists in the game, Dale Hawerchuk and Eric Lindros, the second and third stars in that order. So the Sabres now will be going on to play in game number 4 in this same building on Friday night, and this was a record attendance in this building tonight, over 20,000 people, and I have a feeling they'll have as many folks here again on Friday.
Well, no doubt they will, and it was a great atmosphere in this building. They got clearly behind their club, and to Philadelphia's credit, they scored early, got on the board, and they kept the crowd in the game, and that's something that the Sabres really wanted to sort of take away from the home team, but they couldn't do it.
So Buffalo is going to try to extend the series by coming up with a victory Friday night here at the Core State Center as the Flyers win this one tonight 4-1. Rick Jenneret for Jim Lorenz and Dennis Williams. Good night from Philadelphia.
Well, the Sabres couldn't weather the early storm in Philadelphia this evening, and the Flyers dominated this one from start to finish, Mike.
Well, I guess there is a lot to say about size and muscle because Philadelphia, they just terrorized Buffalo in their own zone. Tremendous amount of size, and they just overworked, I think, the Buffalo defense. Buffalo's forwards couldn't overwork the Philadelphia defense. That was the difference in the game. I'll tell you what, somebody better go out and get a silver shield and carry Shields off the ice on it. He was very courageous tonight. He played a terrific game. We've got the hotline coming up next for you. Join us.
Power plays galore in the first period, and the Flyers capitalize, and lights out pretty early in this one.
Well, I think if you look at it from Philadelphia's standpoint, I think sitting in the dressing room before the game, they had to say, now look at fellas, we can't let Buffalo get into this game. If we start off strong and really set the tempo up in this game, we'll give them an excuse to lose. And they came out and poured it on early. And you could see as game went on, I kept on looking at that bench tonight, Brian, and you know, they're dry, their faces were forlorn, you know, they weren't jumping up and down and fired up like, you know, a team that was there mentally. And I think what has happened here is that this hockey club has put in such a hard season, physically and mentally, that they're almost spent at this time of the year. I don't know if they have anything left to give. Their legs are going, but I don't know if their minds are behind it. And they're just kind of spinning the wheels right now, and and I was concerned about, we talked about it all season long, about, you know, a game never comes easy for this team. Every game this year was tough for them. It was monumental to win, and it takes its toll. And I think tonight it was very, very noticeable to me that there just was nothing left in the tank.
Well, we mentioned it Saturday night, and the question really at that point had to be asked, and could they possibly recover from game 1, where they played their best game and it got away from them?
I really expected this team to come out and win tonight. I thought they would catch Philadelphia flat-footed at home in the first game. Maybe Philadelphia feeling a little bit too confident, the fact that they won 2 in Buffalo. They're in good shape. We're at home now. We have this series wrapped up. We can just go for a walk in the park tonight. Well, in my mind, I thought they're just sitting there waiting to be beat. And yet, it wasn't there for Buffalo to go out and do it. There's just nothing left. And if they can muster it up somehow, God love them. But you can only take it the season so long and play so many games under extreme pressure before you finally run out of gas. And to me, it looks like a team that's just flat out, I mean, I don't know if there's anything left. And especially now with the fourth game, I mean, you know, what's going to be the difference now? If they couldn't pour it on tonight and be spectacular tonight, how will they be any better in the next game?
Yes,
I mean,
it will be most interesting to see if they go quietly or if they really give a good run for their money in Game 4.
well, they're going to have that opportunity, and I know it'd mean an awful lot to the organization if they ever won that fourth game to have that extra game back home. Boy, there's a lot of money involved, and Buffalo should be trying to do everything they possibly can, I think, to bring that one last game. And it'd be nice. And if they're going to go out, it'd be nice to do it at home. At least the fans would be there to applaud them a little bit for the season. Let's take a look at the keys, Brian, tonight before you say it. And that's the Volkswagen keys to the game. And you'll see the number one key tonight, they didn't use their speed. And that's what the best thing about Buffalo is their speed. And they really didn't terrorize the Philadelphia defense. And Philadelphia defense got off at another easy night. There's no question they were outworked, and Buffalo muscled in their own zone, and that was very, very noticeable from start to finish.
All right, our final 4-1 from Philadelphia. Flyers up 3 games to none. We're going to take a timeout, come back. We got the highlights. We have interviews from Philadelphia coming up. A lot of good stuff coming your way on the Labatt Hockey Hotline. Hope you stick around.
The Labatt Hockey Hotline is sponsored by Campbell's Chunky, soup that eats like a meal.
What has Canada given the world? Well, there's our national fabric, our sport, our fashion models, our music, and in 42 countries, our beer. Guess it's not enough for the world's peacekeepers. We're just gonna have to be their brewmaster too.
Now is the time, this is the place, make it a Chevy.
Now you can make it a Chevy for just $11,820 with the easy-to-own Chevy Cavalier. Spring shipments are arriving daily at your Chevy dealer. Cavalier comes with all these standard features: anti-lock brakes, a theft deterrent system, folding rear seat, and more for as little as $11,820. It's the best time ever to
make it a Chevy.
Make it now to your local Chevy dealers.
It's all there at Trans. Come on down to Trans. When you make your shopping plans, you'll be glad to tell your friends you came.
Yeah, it's been a long
Well,
season.
baby, it's been a long day, too.
All right, Flyers 4-1 and 3-0. Almost impossible. It's almost impossible.
No kidding. It was almost impossible
done.
going into it. Yeah, it's been done, but wouldn't bet your lungs on it. So.
Now we look forward to Game 4. And how about Garth Snow? Really never challenged tonight. He had a pretty easy night, didn't he?
Actually, I took Shields as one of the stars of the game. I thought he was spectacular, and the courage of Shields was amazing, especially in the third period when he maybe stopped about, I'm going to say, 6 point-blank shots, really good scoring opportunities for Philadelphia, and he didn't give up. He just hung in there, and I guess the decision will be made whether to go to Hasek the next game or Shields. I guess in my heart, you know, I'm saying, you know, stick with the kid. He didn't hurt this team. He was there from start to finish. Stay, you know, for the esprit de corps and the dressing room and everything. He brought you to the dance and hang in there with them. But your mind, when you get out of your heart and you think with your head and realizing the importance of coming back to Buffalo and all the money that's involved for an extra home game, you'd have to go with Hasek.
Especially in the straits they're in now, if you're looking to find a way to get a bounce in their step, certainly 39 is the guy that can do that for them, you would think.
Well, you would think that, yeah. I mean, it's kind of I think it's a sad statement you would have to, we'll bring Dominant back to get a step and, to pick up some speed. I mean, what's wrong with picking up the speed right now? Why do they have to wait for Hasek to get back? So I don't necessarily agree with that, but since you're sitting there and looking me right in the eyeball, I'll kind of partly agree with it.
All right, let's take a look at some highlights, and we'll start in the first period. And really, this is where the game is settled. Early on, Gregson, he had the whistle out early and often on the power play. Flyers working it around. Howard Chuck and Coffey set it up. Lindros wheels and deals, Mike. 1-0 Flyers.
Yeah, there's so many times for Buffalo to get this puck out of their zone. They couldn't get it out, and finally Lindros picks it up with a point-blank shot and wears it inside the post. But here's the pass of the game, Brian.
Bingo. Coffey on the tape, and Howard Chuck with a head of steam steps into it. Say goodnight there.
Yeah, I just about jumped out of my chair and hit my head on the roof. I thought this might have been offside. Is it? No, it's right on the money. Perfect. And terrific shot. I think Steve thought he was going to the far side, and he fooled him and slipped him the 9 of hearts.
The Sabres do get on the board, and it is on the power play, and will be Daryl Shannon right here letting one go through some traffic, and in she goes.
Yeah, one of the problems with their power play, Brian, is to get shots through from the defense. Shannon did a beautiful job at this, and you know what? He just might be the most valuable defenseman probably in the last 10 games and the playoffs.
And here's Brindamore, center ice, and he knows where to go, Mike. He goes right at Jason Daw and right around him.
Well, Brindamore had all the time in the world. Both Mike Wilson just started backing up, and look at this. They're going backwards. They give him the blue line, and he has a choice to make here. Not a bad choice. He goes to Jason Daw and walks around him like he's not there, and just goes in, snaps it into the far corner. This is a good fake, but a good selection too. You go to Wilson or you go to Daw. Of course, you go to Daw.
All right, so the Flyers on top 3-1. They go on to win this one by the final score of 4-1. And we're going to head to Philadelphia. Jim Brinson standing by with Daryl Shannon. Jim?
All right, guys, thank you very much. Yeah, we're back here, back on the Sabres bench. Daryl Shannon, the lone real bright spot tonight for the Buffalo Sabres, as Shannon obviously comes up with the only goal in which the Sabres were able to get on the board tonight. Pretty good slap shot that you took there from the outside.
Oh, I might have, I'm not sure. I didn't know where it was going. I think it went off his stick, didn't it not?
Yeah.
But we're not fussy. We'll take him any way we can get him.
The game tonight, can you describe the style of play? It looks like at the very beginning there was you guys tried to work the intimidation factor, and once again they really kind of refused to bite. And then they got a couple of quick goals, got up in front early, and then you just couldn't catch up.
Yeah, I don't know if we really tried to intimidate them. I don't think they're the kind of team that's going to get too intimidated, but I think they are the kind of team that's going to allow you to get chances. So we have to play good defensive hockey. The first period, we were allowing them to get good chances, and then we were taking our chances, and we can't allow ourselves to get in that kind of a game. Like I say, we want to be solid defensively, and then we'll take advantage of the offensive opportunities when they're there.
You're down 3-0 now. Obviously, tomorrow probably an optional skate again. Guys will rest a little bit. Then you come back here again Friday. Not much more to say than you have to absolutely, positively have to have it.
No, we came here, you know, realistically, we weren't coming here to win both games in their rink. It would have been nice. And so you come here to try to split, and we still got the opportunity to do that and come back to Buffalo, and, you know, anything can happen. We've been, the chips have been against us all year, and right now they are. So we're looking forward to doing whatever we can do.
Final question, what was it like, the attitude in the locker room? Do the guys feel like they put in a pretty good effort tonight and it just didn't happen for them again?
Well, these playoff games, everyone goes out there and gives it their all. Some nights, some things are going to click, and tonight things weren't clicking. You could just see that some of the passes just weren't on, and getting the puck deep, and they seem to be dumping it in our end, and we're trying to do the exact same to them, be dumping it in their end and playing in their end, but things just weren't clicking, and so guys were disappointed and they're frustrated, and but you can't let those kind of things get to you. So we're trying to be optimistic, and we got a game to play in another couple days, and we're looking forward to it.
You're going to show up is what you're telling everybody.
Exactly.
All right, Daryl Shannon, nice enough to come out after the 3-1 defeat here at Core States Arena in Philadelphia. I'm Jim Brinson. We are live. Fellas, let's go back to you in the studio.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. That point Daryl just made, Mike. How do you overcome frustration, turn that into anger, but fine-tune it that it turns into execution for Game 4.
Yeah, it's difficult because, you know, your mouth goes, but your mind, your subconscious mind is almost telling you that, you know, once again, I get back to, if it couldn't happen earlier in the season, why all of a sudden will it all come together in the fourth game? So I think a lot of this is really predicated upon the approach by the coaches and where they put the players' minds for the next game. It's very difficult for a player now not to be thinking in a negative context, but somehow with the coach's help and a little bit of persuasion from the coaching staff, and I think some generals in that dressing room, the changing, you have to change your thinking and look forward to the next game with a possibility.
All right, we look forward now to the series keys. Let's have a look at these.
Okay, Brian, pop them up, and here are my keys tonight. This is the one area I thought, although Snow won the game, he played pretty good. He didn't even get close to the action. It was almost 2.5 times to 1 the shots in favor of Philadelphia. I thought the more spectacular goaltender in the game tonight was Shields. The Buffalo defense was one of the keys, but we'll give that to Philadelphia tonight. And forechecking also goes to Philadelphia. They really penetrated the Buffalo zone with power and muscle.
As we talked from the outset, the Sabres' speed, imperative to have success against this bigger team. Flyers did a good job of containing them. Power play improvement. Well, the Sabres, they were able to get one on the power play, but basically they really never threatened Snow all evening long. Play smart. The Flyers, Mike, from the beginning of this series, they really showed composure. They wouldn't get sucked into the physical stuff and the stuff after the whistle. They have really played a smart.
They look like a very smart hockey club, and they didn't go for any of the bait.
All right, we're going to go for a timeout and come right back on the Labatt Hockey Hotline.
I had to go out of town, so my best friend said Max could stay with them. Max and Charlie got along great, except that Max kept eating Charlie's food, Purina One brand. So I checked. There's no better nutrition, and Purina One lamb and rice formula has real lamb as the #1 ingredient. That designer dog food I'd been feeding Max has corn as the #1 ingredient. So Max eats Purina One now, and we both couldn't be happier.
The new tradition of Big Four college basketball in Buffalo produced a season we'll never forget. From the first tip-off and the game-winning three-pointer to the final slam dunk, the Big Four gave fans exciting college basketball to watch throughout its first season. Empire Sports salutes M&T Bank as the corporate sponsor of the 96-97 Big Four basketball series. M&T's commitment to college basketball went far beyond sponsoring the exciting games. M&T Bank provided scholarships to young students, sponsored youth basketball clinics, and hosted thousands of area kids at the Big Four games. M&T's program also reached beyond the arena when Jason Rowe, Buffalo's 1996 Co-Player of the Year, returned home to the Maston Park Boys and Girls Club to offer words of inspiration and encouragement to student athletes. We salute M&T Bank for its commitment to the Big Four college basketball series and to Western New York. M&T, all the bank you'll ever need.
All right, let's head right back to Philadelphia. Jim Brinson standing by and Brad Mays alongside. Jim?
All right, guys, thanks very much. Yeah, it's a 3-1 loss here at Core State's Arena, and now the Sabres really up against the wall, down 3-0. We're going to chat right now with Brad May. A physical game, a pounding game against the boards this evening. Both teams, I think, trying to maybe out-hit the other, but you couldn't outscore them again tonight.
Seems to be our problem in this series, and obviously we can only look inside that room to find the answers. But, you know, obviously we know it's going to be physical against the Flyers, and, you know, I know there's lots of guys in our room that love to play that way, and, you know, we just have to somehow find a way to score. And, hey, it's not over yet, I'll tell you that right now. The fourth game's the hardest one to win in the series, and we're going to come out Friday night giving it our all.
4-1 with the final. They get the open netter at the very end. This is something I think in the locker room right now. Do the guys sort of look at each other and say, you know what, we're not going to show up on Friday and just lay down at all?
Oh, come on. I mean, for anybody who's watching, I mean, my goodness. I mean, if that's the case, I'll tell you what, I'll give you anybody the permission to grab any one of us, you know, and roll us out back in the field. I'll tell you, if anybody lays down at this particular point, that's the worst thing I'd ever hear of. So I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I know not. And you know, we're a character group, and we're going to come out and give everything we have.
Can you, when you have tomorrow off a little bit, can you sit back and muster up the energy and think, you know what, we accomplished an awful lot this season, what people thought we could not do. We got all the way into the second round. We're playing one of the better teams in hockey, and we're holding our own here. I mean, even though you're down 3-0, you've been holding your own. Can you take some sort of solace in that, or is it still really defeating inside?
There's a simple answer to that. Okay. When you lose, it stinks. And I mean, people in Buffalo obviously know that. You know, their sports teams have had a tendency to lose in the last few years. And I'll tell you one thing right now: anybody lays down, or anybody has that proud feeling being down 3-0, that's not character. And you know, maybe when it's all said and done, when we battle back and win some games here, and hopefully go on into the next round, you know, when it's all over and you're sitting around, you can talk like that, but it's not over. You don't even think of that stuff.
Brad May, a special guest, nice enough to come out of the locker room. 4-1, the final, as Philadelphia now goes up 3-0 over the Sabres. As you can tell, though, from the comments of Daryl Shannon and Brad May, the Sabres will show up on Friday for Game 4. Fellas, back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And now let's head to the phones and see what John in Niagara Falls has to say. Hi, John. What do you think?
Hi, Brian and Mike. How are you?
Good, John. Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to say hats off to Steve Shields. I think he has done an excellent job for this hockey team, and he's carried them in the playoffs. My concern is, how can the Sabres generate some more offense and score goals? And do you think they tend to not take as many chances with Shields in there instead of Hasek? I'm going to hang up and listen to your answer. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Well, if they want to generate more goals, I've got a cure for them. They have to get the defensemen that are capable to move up the ice, to start moving up the ice with the forwards. They tend to stay behind. They don't get involved enough with the play. Shannon has probably been the best of all their defensemen in the past maybe 10 to 20 games. And that shouldn't be right, because Zitnik's capable of doing it. Smelik's capable of doing it. Move up on the play, and it'll put a different look altogether for this hockey club offensively. Help the forwards out. They can't do it by themselves. One defenseman into the pocket could make all the difference in the world, certainly a goal or two a game. But if they keep on dragging behind, then the forwards are all by themselves. They can't do it by themselves. That's pretty obvious. Get one defenseman up in the play. It would make all the difference in the world. That would be my cure.
Offensively, though, this evening, Mike, really sluggish.
Yeah, certainly. They're sluggish, and they put spurts, maybe about 4 or 5 good spurts on during the game. But other than that, they're just the size of Philadelphia. They just got coming at you like in waves, and they couldn't seem to handle the size, especially in their own zone.
All right, a brief respite is upon us. We shall return shortly on the Labatt Hockey Hotline.
Visit the Empire Sports Network website at www.empiresports.com and send your comments to the Labatt Hockey Hotline. Internet services provided by Online Media. You are connected. Call 1-800-492-3664 and get...
Well, they don't do this one right, so they'll try it one more time, and that'll prompt the Flyers to change up. We'll see if Ted. That lasted 1 second, that shift. Guess you guys got to be fresh as a daisy, I'll tell you. Fresh as a daisy.
And so that means that the Sabres make a change. You know, they started the game with Primo May and Ray playing against Eric Lindros. Now they've switched up. It's going to be Holzinger, Jaw, and Dixon Ward. I think Holzinger will stay out for the face-off, go to the bench, and then Miroslav Shatan will replace him. Shatan is not an experienced face-off man, and so Holzinger will do the honors.
Holzinger knocked it free, but the shot is fired wide by Denema. Now spinning back into the corner. Oh, on the glass. Didn't get it out. Lindros keeping it in. He runs into Wilson. It's tapped high in the air. Slowed in by Swoboda. Swoboda sending it to Lindros. Around behind the net. Lindros giving it back to Leclerc out in front. Taken away by Ward. Ward will slip it up to center. Holzinger now gets the chance to get to the bench. That through the middle. Renberg leaving it to Lindros in over the blue line. Lindros dragging the puck, trying to stuff it in front. Chucking around to Lindros again. Here's Lindros, Syndergaard beside the net. Put back behind the goal. Emptied by Philadelphia. Renberg going after it again to Leclerc. Leclerc picking it up, trying to get it in front. Shields makes the save, and Shannon comes up with the puck. They guided away to center ice to Daw. Daw to the flyer line, busting around the outside on Carrier. Behind the goal. Wait for it back there. Daw after it again. Daw up it back again, and now Renberg just fires it off the boards and down the ice, and this one dribbles over the goal line and racing all the way back in the Philadelphia end. And let's go downstairs now to Dennis Williams.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Michael Pekka. Michael, what exactly transpired tonight to keep you out of the lineup?
Well, after the morning skate, I had, your normal morning sore back, but I had it, tried to get it loosened up with a bit of a massage, and it just seemed to trigger, I don't know, something. And I woke up from my nap, and I was nearly in tears. There was so much pain. I came down to the rink 3 hours early and see what we can do, and it took a bit of the pain away, but it's still too sore to skate. I tried in the warm-up, and I just couldn't go.
With the success you've had against Eric Lindros, this has got to be tough for you to be out of the lineup in a big game like this.
Well, it is. I just go over the habit of biting my nails, and I'm sitting watching the game, getting it acted up again, but I'm hoping to be back next game.
All right, thanks very much. Let's go back upstairs.
He was a mounted warrior. He tried it in the warm-up, but clearly he just could not go. Trying to get away at center, tapped in over the line, delayed offside. Brochik hustles it back again. Brochik to the Philly line and over. Trying to scoop it in front. It's high in the air and up the center. Schmelling slips it back in. Carrier coming up to the top. That's clearing it all the way onto Richard Schmellick's stick. Throwing it up at center ice. Too far for Barnaby. Hoppy is back after it, and Barnaby right behind him. Hoppy got it with the boards, not out. Brochik holding it. He's tied up in the corner. Balloon can't come up with the puck. It slipped around to Desjardins. Desjardins, Brochik bumping in there. Now on the boards. Plant trying to keep it in, but it's scooped all the way down the ice. Shields will come out to take it away as he spins around and clears it, but not out. Balloon keeping it in. Balloon checked on the boards. A good three is set to center. Barnaby didn't see it. Now he goes after it. Barnaby in over the line, trying to get away. Bumps it back. Kept in there by Plant to Brochik. Brochik spinning around. Couldn't get a shot on. Still has the puck. Backhand. Goal deflected just wide by Plant. Here's Barnaby out in front. Backhand. Knocked out in front. Goal jam there and play is called. And an extra push and shove. Less than 5 to go in the second. Philly in the lead on Empire.
The NJC AA Division III College World Series is back in Batavia for another year. Come out and see the Stars of Tomorrow in this year's tournament at Dwyer Stadium, May 17th through the 23rd. Tickets for the 18 double elimination tournament are on sale now, $3 a day or $12 for a tournament pass. Don't miss exciting college baseball at its very best. To reserve your front row seat, call 343-5454 now.
2 first period goals have Philadelphia in the lead here with 4:53 left on the clock in the second period. And coming up in the second intermission, Dennis Williams will be talking to Sean Podine, who got the winner in Game 1. Hockey Hotline will be along. The number to call if you would like to participate, 800-388-7897. And we'll be along before the intermission comes to a close.
I tell you, Buffalo's speed here in the second is evident, isn't it? The Flyers have been backtracking the whole period, and they look like a tired hockey club.
Galley trying to hold it in now. Does to Burridge to Galley down low. Swings it right through the goal crease. Against backhand. Knocked out in front of the net. And Podine comes up with it off the glass and out of play.
I know people have been mentioning, of course, the Flyers, a big, strong club, how they wear teams down. Well, I mean, that may be true to some point, but you've got to remember it takes a lot more energy for a big man to skate and get going than it does for a small, quick team like Buffalo. So I don't buy that nonsense that everyone's trying to peddle around that the Flyers are going to wear down Buffalo. It's not going to happen. The Flyers are certainly a talented hockey club, and that's how they win their hockey games. Not by necessarily wearing teams down, but by superior talent.
Desjardins challenged in the corner, but he got it around behind the net. Banked off the boards and all the way through center by Terrien. Hugner sending it up to the blue line. That's knocked down. chop right back in again. Otto after it. Galley's after him. They bump in the corner. Otto trying to pry it free. Galley still all over him. Knocks him down. Tip back around to the boards. Hubner helps out his defense mate. Cleared it up on the wing. And Burridge knocks it free to center ice. Holzinger coming away. Holzinger back pass Audette. Drags it through. Holzinger couldn't get it. Audette's got it again. Audette spinning. He goes down. And Renberg out to center to Lindros. Lindros in over the line to Podine. Took his shot. Didn't get away. And Shields reached out and almost took it off Sean Podine's stick.
Now, is that a wild play? Buffalo, Donald Audette falling down inside the Philadelphia line, and Lindros broke down the left wing on an odd man rush. And the Sabres have not given up many odd man rushes tonight. Lindros making the play to Podine, who never quite found the handle on it. What a neat play that was by Audette. And again, the Sabres cannot finish off in front of the Philadelphia goaltender. Down goes Audette, and here comes Lindros steaming down the left wing. And watch what happens when he makes the pass across to Podine. Podine never gets the handle on as the puck was bouncing. And Steve Shields picks it off to the faceoff.
Picking away at it in the circle. Zipnik unable to come up with the puck. Flyers hold it in. Stuffing it back into the corner. Bumping in there with Zubras. Now it's Kordic leaving it back along the board. Lacroix, flip it free. Zipnik got it, but couldn't get it out. Shields back in the corner. Slipped along the boards, not out again. Flyers turn to keep the Sabres in their own end. Schmelik takes down his check again. He belted Zubras twice. A poke at it on the board. Zubras trying to get free, and Schmelik's all over him. Just squirts around on the other side, and Ray recovers. Ray's clearing it out to center ice, bounces right to May. May getting it in over the line. He got turned around, hit him up. Got it off the glass, it rolls to the blue line. Ray trying to keep it in, it does. Kordic took a run at him. They jam free, and it comes to center ice. Svoboda starting back. Svoboda in over the line. Here's Svoboda with a shot. Shields the save, and it's clipped out and sent back down into Philadelphia's territory. It'll be Svoboda catching up with it first, and this will be an icing coming up against Buffalo. And now Ray and Kordic way back inside the Buffalo zone, and the linesman comes spinning back to get between them.
Well, partner, there's an example of what happens in the playoffs. In the regular season, I guarantee you the two players would have dropped their gloves and fought it out, but they don't want to take a chance at getting an aggressor and getting tossed from the hockey game and hurting their team. And fighting has been virtually eliminated from the playoffs. This is Rob Ray attempting to keep the puck in at the blue line, and Kordic drills him into the Buffalo bench.
Ray knew he was going to get tagged there. He gave himself up.
Now both players are trying to draw the other one into a fight.
Well, it's not so serious anyway before, partner, because if you're the aggressor, you don't get thrown out of the game anymore.
You end up with a 10-minute misconduct penalty, that's true. But again, no one wants to take that aggressor penalty and put their club into trouble. So not much fighting going on in the league these days.
Wilson slipping it back in behind the net. Shannon hooks it around on the board. Not out. He keeps it in. That'll bounce back into the corner again. Sabres recover. Flipped up ahead and sent to center ice. Dykos. Work it ahead. That went all the way through center, and Howard Chuck gives it away to Ward. Return pass for Dixon Ward. To the Flyer line and over. Ward trying to slip in around. He got spun around and goes down as he bumps with Blue. Chachan gets involved in the corner. Eichhouse fanned on. Sabres holding it in. Chachan tries a free, then lost it to Coffey. Coffey starting out. 4-on-3 for Philadelphia. Coffey to the Buffalo line, trying to work his way around Wilson, and he got in front of him. Ward steers it all the way around to the boards to Daw. Daw sliding it back. Shannon's pass ahead to Chatan. Chatan coming in over the line. Left it there. Shannon carries on. Shannon got it to Ward. Put it in front of the net to shut the shore. The pressure exerted throughout much of the second period by Buffalo finally results in a goal, and the Sabres Sabres trail by 1.
Well, the Sabres deserve this one. This play began back at the Buffalo blue line, and Daryl Shannon will figure prominently in this goal. Watch this play that he makes right here. And a great pass to Jason Daw, who finally puts one by Garth Snow, and the Sabres are right back in this hockey game.
Now the face-off, Lindros slipping it in over the line. Shipnick catching up with it in the corner. Holtz to get away from a check, feeds it ahead. Out over the line, Desjardins scooping it to Carrion to Renberg. Renberg will gun it right back in again. Lindros tracking it down. Lindros bumped by Shipnick, feeds it around to Leclerc. Schmelik trying to take it away. Here's Lindros with it again. Lindros trying to curl around. He keeps it in there. He blocks it off. Renberg got it in front. Hooked around on the other side. Desjardins holding it in. He got flattened by Groshek, but it's kept in by the Flyers again. Here it is, right beside the net. And it's chucked away and picked up by Groshek. Groshek scoots around in his own end and feeds it over on the other side to Schmelik. Schmelik bumping it, got hammered by Leclerc. Hooked in over the line. Sabres trying to keep it in, but it's steered out to center ice. Picked up by Philadelphia. Hooked through the middle. Taken back by Galley. He flips it ahead to Barnaby. Barnaby in over the blue line. Barnaby still with the puck. Trying to dump it in to Groshek. Couldn't get it there. Right off the boards to center. Galley knocks it down. Sails it across on the other side. Ends up at center ice. Kutner kind of smack it back in again, and does. And Groshek got all tangled up with his check. And now we get the battle joined, or the would-be battle joined.
Mike Groshek playing a physical game here again tonight. He tossed a couple of Flyers down and then challenged Eric Lindros. And of course, you know that Matt Barnaby is going to get his nose in the middle of it, and he did.
And now Desjardins and Galley are having an earnest conversation and a little whack at each other.
Now, Matt Barnaby is playing a strong game here tonight. I noticed a number of, well, now we got Lindros.
Here's Lindros and Barnaby. They are over at the Buffalo bench, and everybody forgot about them, and they're both getting penalties. And now Leclerc knocks down Barnaby on his way by. And Barnaby may have embellished that a little bit. Meanwhile, Bugner is doing everything he can to try and get at Desjardins, who is just taunting him.
Well, Eric Lindros suckered Barnaby in front of the Buffalo bench. And I know there are a lot of people upset because Matt Barnaby is doing a lot of yapping in this series. But Matt Barnaby only knows one way to play, and that's to yap and play hockey at the same time. Now, there's a shot that Lindros gives him. I know the press this morning was questioning Ted Nolan about Matt Barnaby. Was he going to tell him to shut up? And Ted says, absolutely not. Why should I? He says, that's the way he plays. And Matt Barnaby has got the Flyers going again tonight. He had them started in game 1. Bodies going down. That's where Groshek challenged Lindros. And
I don't know who Barnaby's looking at, because he must be a Philadelphia fan or something, because the Flyer players have already been excused and gone to the dressing room. Those who are being penalized, Lindros, Desjardins, we'll see how this all washes out. And I'm sure Barnaby will too. There are only 33 seconds remaining in the period. That's why they're being told to go to the room.
And Barnaby just tucks his way to the Buffalo dressing room, and I mean, you gotta love the way the kid plays, and he backs it up. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's been my point about him over the years. You know, that we talk about all the rats in the league. Yeah. We talk about the Keith Actons and the
Kenny Lynchman.
The Kenny Lynchman, yeah, and even Bob Clark, for that matter. Right. You know, but those guys, they hit and run. Barnaby hits and stays.
Oh,
and I think there's a big difference.
He'll fight anybody. Yeah. Absolutely fight. Will fight anybody in the league, and will not back down from all his talk.
Well, it looked, I saw it, well, you saw it too. We were both at the same game when Lindros knocked the stuffing right out of Barnaby. He got over at the penalty box and he was just grinning. I mean, he was laughing at us. He said, come on, let's do it again. How do you win something like that?
You can't. You're not going to win against him. And you might beat him up and beat him what you think to a pulp, and it's not going to hurt him. Well, Barnaby will just come back for more.
Yeah, the pulp's only going to last the 5 minutes that he's sitting in the penalty box. So in any event, they're now finally ready to drop the puck, and Holzinger will tap it back to Shannon to Galley. Galley trying to get away at center, swings it across ice. Audette charging, took a shot. Snow kicked that away. Swoboda starting out. He feeds it up the middle. Here's Otto coming back now to Podine. Podine in over the line, squeezed off by Shannon, and it rolls around on the boards, but play has been called. 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Offside.
Well, the Sabres putting together a great 20 minutes of play, or almost a great second 20 minutes of play, just 16 seconds short. And you got to watch out here for a faceoff in the neutral zone. I'm sure the Flyers will try to set up a play to break into the Sabre zone.
Well, they better play every last second. That's all I can say after what we saw in Game 1.
That's the truth. Is the Flyers were down 3-1, and with about a tenth of a second to go, Renberg scored to put Philadelphia right back in the game, and that just broke the back of Buffalo. They could not recover, and the Flyers won Game 1.
Yeah, it's going to be tipped away, and Snow is going to let it go wide of the net. So this is going to end up being an icing call against Buffalo with 9.3 seconds remaining on the clock.
Well, you didn't want that to happen, but the face-off will come up in the Buffalo zone. Let's see, to the right. The goaltender Shields, and that's an advantage for Buffalo when the faceoff is on that side of the ice, because they have right-handed centermen. When you have a right-handed centerman, you can pull it back into the corner. Will be Derek Plant stepping onto the ice. Holzinger will take the draw. Plant is out there in case Holzinger is excused from, oh, no, wait a minute, Plant will take it. I'm surprised that the right-hander Holzinger doesn't take the face-off and try to pull it back into the corner. That's usually where a centerman is at his strongest. And Derek Plant being a left-handed shot, it's very difficult for him to pull on the forehand, but he's going to try.
He's going to take it against Brindamore. Plant successful. It's tapped around behind the net. Gunned around on the boards now to the line. Ninema holding it in. Here's Leclerc taking the shot. That went wide. Rebound as the buzzer goes. Brindamore got the shot on Shields.
Now, what an excellent period for Buffalo as they stormed the Flyers zone, using their speed and quickness to create turnovers, and finally Jason Daw found the back of the net.
So, the Buffalo Sabres allowed 2 goals to Philadelphia in the first period, come back with the only goal of the second period, and the margin has now been halved. Which coach will be the winner at the end of tonight's game in Buffalo?
I've taught over 5,000 golfers, from beginners to professionals. I can guarantee you that if your grip is wrong, your shot is doomed before you even swing. No matter how expensive your equipment, good golf requires a good grip. That's why this new Condor glove is the most exciting product I've ever seen. Your grip is the only link you have to the golf club. It gets the club face square to the ball at impact. A good grip is the easiest way to add distance, reduce hooks and slices, and cut strokes.
To use the Condor Pro Grip, simply lay the shaft across the colored path, hold tighter where the fingers are shaded, keep the colored knuckles out of sight, and point the arrow at your right ear. That's it. Your grip is consistently pro-perfect from first shot to last, as Darryl says.
No doubt about it. The Condor glove is the easiest, least expensive way to cut strokes ever invented. And all you do is put it on.
Call the number on your screen now.
Sabres Playoff Hockey is brought to you in part by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Discover, it pays to discover. And by Tops Friendly Markets. Tops never stops saving you more. 1 goal separating these folks at the end of 2 periods of play. The Philadelphia Flyers throughout the regular season stacked up this way now in the third period. Obviously, they knew when to get things in gear. Did they ever? That's 108-63. And then in the playoffs against the Sabres, or in the 6 games against the Sabres this year, up to date now. That includes the regular season and the 2 playoff games. 10-1 in the third period. What do these guys do? Sit around doing nothing for the first 2 periods?
It appear that way, doesn't it? I don't know if Ted Nolan cares to acknowledge that statistic. He'll tell you, heck, that happened yesterday, and we got to worry about this hockey game. But that is very impressive, though. The Flyers are strong late in the game. But in that second period, Buffalo kept the puck out of the Sabres zone for the most part and gave Steve Shields a breather. Shields with a total of 23 shots on goal here tonight. 10 in the second, but they were not difficult saves, maybe a couple of them. Snow has been terrific in the last 6 games in the third period. A lot has to do with the way his club has played in front of him. When you see that third period statistic in goals for, that means the Flyers play an awful lot of time in the opposition zone.
Shatan at center ice between Ward and Daw to begin the period. Flyers will dribble it ahead. The player just scoops it down the ice. Shields to handle it back there. Flings it around away from Renberg. Zubris going after it, taken away from him by Shatan. LeClaire picking it up. He'll rifle it back in again, and Shields kind of lunged at that one to tip it around on the boards, but not out. LeClaire getting there, cleared it in front of the net, a shot right off. Shields the save, stuffed back into the corner. Crook free, but not out again. Renberg keeping it in. He ran into the referee. Shatan hooks it to center for Ward. Flinging one off into the corner. Daw racing in there to Shatan. That's for Daw behind the net. And he couldn't control it. Banked back into the corner again. Kept in by Daw. Daw trying to fend off Ninema. Still fighting for the puck. Shatan got it free, but there's Svoboda to take it away. Peter Svoboda through center. He'll flip it ahead and hit LeClaire on his way to the bench on the change. Squeezed across now. Ducked ahead. This one hits the referee. He's involved a little more than he wishes to. Burns comes back. Going to feed it in. As he spun around with the pass from Burry.
See, that's what Philadelphia has a problem with. The great speed of Buffalo, and their defense is not quick enough for the most part to react. And Holzinger gets loose and gets this scoring chance. Watch how quickly. See him go between the middle, and the Flyers cannot react in time. And there's a great chance and an excellent save by the goaltender, and that puck momentarily was loose. 18:43 to go here in the third period. The line of May, Primo, and Ray on the ice. And Ted Nolan continues to go with 4 lines. And Primo has really conducted himself like a veteran so far in the playoffs. He's getting much more ice time tonight than he normally did against Ottawa. Doing a great job.
Ray Coast trying to keep May out of there. Coffey swings it around to Falloon. Falloon through center. He'll whip one in. He'll slide around on the boards, be deflected ahead, and Ray finishes the job, sending it out in center. May came sailing across to take out his check. Hooked back in over the line on a delayed offside. Flyers recover again. Ray goes tapping it ahead through the middle to Coffey. Coffey getting around the outside, trying to swing it in front of the net. Ray got it close to him, but Coffey carries on. Leaves it there. Howard Chuck with a shot. Back into the boards. Shannon time with his man. Comes free on the boards again. Falloon taking off the puck and ends up at center ice. Buffalo hustling to change. Back comes Brindamore. Brindamore in over the line. Ducks away. Flipped it at the side of the net. Wilson kept it. Didn't get it out. Was after it again. Trying to kick it free. It popped out in front. Shoveled to the line. Not out. The long shot shields the save. And now it's worked back through the middle. Ninema charging after it, and Buffalo does the changing. And now Flyers as well. Carrion scooping it up to center ice. That's kicked away. Rivers getting it back again. Bodine taps it ahead. And then it hits a leg and comes to center again. And here's Schmelik dumping it in over the line. Carrion got it off the board. Not out. Schmelik keeping it in. Flat around to Carrion. He finds Bodine on the wing. He'll just dump it off into the corner. Klatt charges in there after it. He jumped away from him. Ward takes it back. Ward high in the air through center. Reaching up with it, Svoboda. He flings it up ahead. Leclerc having difficulty controlling it. Finally gains control and drops it back. Pass to Swoboda. Up to Leclerc. Leclerc in over the line. Squeezed out. Mixing it up there was Zipnik. Schmeling sending it around on the glass. Bounces free. Holzinger. And Ward at center. Ward to the Philadelphia line. Here's Ward in over the line. Drops it off now. Zipnik right in front of the net. And it's taken away and banked off the boards. Philadelphia coming back with Zubras. Zubras and Renberg. Up in line of the goal. Shields guns it around on the other side. Zubras catches up with it. He gets knocked off stride. It's stuck out to center to a down. He just failed to get away. Flyers coming back again. Over now to Ninema. Ninema looking in front of the net. Kept it around behind the goal. Steered into the corner again. Came out in front. The shot. Shields! He stones Leclerc from point-blank range. Steve Shields makes this remain a one-goal hockey game as he nails Leclerc.
Why was Auto Choice the right choice for you?
The average car costs $20,000. We had 12.
I picked out my car on the computer. No haggle prices. I didn't have to negotiate.
Variety, they have over 300 choices.
And I browsed while she was in the playroom.
Auto Choice, the right choice.
I liked the price guarantee.
We got a great deal.
It was quick, easy, and painless. It just felt good buying here.
Auto Choice, best selection, lowest price guaranteed.
Well, I guess that pretty well sums up the way some of the fans feel about the officiating.